Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to stream number 2 of the day, and it's that time of the week again. It's Shameless FC. Big up everyone that's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button as you guys are walking in already. It's been an interesting week for us at the very least. We've actually got a fucking transfer bid in for the first time in ages, but we look to finally be making a move in the transfer market. So we will be discussing the news about Erling Haaland, but we'll also be discussing all the other news surrounding everything involving the Premier League this week as well. So big up everyone that's locked in and smash the like and subscribe button as well as already. Neil, how's your week been, bro?
Yeah, just been chilling. I mean, coping with the heat. Apart from that, Leicester not doing anything. It's all good. Life moves on. Pre-season starts tomorrow. Can't wait. All good, man.
Oh, geez, who's your first game against?
We've got the most amazing pre-season now. You know, you guys have got all these big games. We've got Burton Albion, followed by Wickham.
Oh, Burton away.
Burton away, then Wickham
away,
then QPR away, then Villarreal. Then 3 days later we've got the Community Shield. So I mean, the first three is standard for Leicester City. So, but the Villarreal's a good tie, but it's 3 days before the Charity Community Shield. So I was like, ugh, bit of a
We'll
wrong
probably
time
just rest
there,
everyone for that match.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But however, we get on with it. But yeah, Leicester's preseason just starting tomorrow.
Jeez, nice. Babs, how's your week been? Also, Babs' new Twitter down in the description below. Check it out. Get him to 1K as well. We've been speaking
I've already got
about
a K, mate.
as well, but everyone wants to know as well. What the fuck happened, man?
All right, cool. Let's start off with the week first. It's been a good week, you know. Do you know when Neil just said that he struggled with it? I've actually I don't know. I've enjoyed it because obviously I'm doing the whole weight loss thing. Like I'm going on walks every day, so it's like kind of good to leave the house and have good weather, you know, like sun and get the shades on. You know, I like that. And also I've invested in a good fan, which by the way, if you want to do that as well, because that helps. It helps a lot. Because if you can sleep in the summer, then you're perfectly fine. My concern in the past, that, you know what, that's a good fan. I invested in something that really expensive. I said, you know what, just to help me sleep in the summer, because that's my biggest concern every year, is I can't sleep in the summer. It's so hot and, you know, sweaty, you know, I don't like it. Got a good fan now so I can sleep, and I'm enjoying the summer so far. Arsenal had been doing Arsenal things, so I'm alright with that as well. And in terms of Twitter, it's just a minor copyright strike. So I should get my account back within the next week or two, and I don't really mind if I get in a week or two because it's like almost like a Twitter holiday. My only concern was why so many individuals on Twitter were so bothered. Like in a oh my god, he's lost his account. Yes, yay, let's laugh at him. Let's dance on his grave because that's funny, isn't it? I don't understand why, but hey, clowns will be clowns, you know. Clowns will be clowns. But apart from that, it's actually been a pretty good
People
week.
will just hate, but fuck it. At least they're watching anyway.
What's the saying? Hated, adored, but never ignored.
Damn fucking right, man. And that's the right mentality to have as well. Again, Babs' new Twitter down in the description below, so check it out and follow him again if you guys haven't done it already. Ryan, what are you telling me, bro? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been a good week, bro. You know, recovered from COVID. My isolation stopped earlier in the week. So, yeah, just been enjoying the weather, you know, finally getting out of the house, you know, after a bit. So, yeah, man, it's been good, you know, been good.
Good. Nice. Glad to hear that. We were going to start, well, to be honest, we can still start with the Manchester United news about Jadon Sancho. And finally, like, the longest transfer saga in history is finally done. Jadon Sancho is now a Manchester United player. And as expected, Man United fans are going crazy about it because now they've just added yet another attacking prospect to their lineup. But guys, how do you think Jadon Sancho is going to initially adapt to the Premier League? Because we've seen, as a Chelsea fan, with first-hand experience, the adjustment from the Bundesliga to the Premier League is very harsh.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to try and throw water on the fire. Well, to be honest, I am as well. But how long do you think it would take for Jadon Sancho to initially adapt to Premier League football? Because for me, I'm going to be real. I think the first season, he's going to look hella shaky. At least at the start too. And I think maybe towards the end of the season, he'll end up performing a lot better because it might not take the full season for him to adjust. But I do think at the start, he's not going to be able to deal with them low blocks the same way he thinks he could have dealt with them in the Bundesliga. It's going to be a lot more different for him.
Yeah, I think with him, it's like, you know, I think, like you said, it could be sort of maybe like a Havertz thing this season where you have come from the Bundesliga, you know, it's such a different league, you know, the way they play, you know, you are, like you said, going to come up against more low blocks, and it's like, especially when you're coming into a team managed by Ollie in it, like, you know, let's be honest, when you're coming into a guy you can't
No,
coach.
but apparently he's going to start playing more attacking football next season.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
with the players he has, he might as well be.
Well,
But
yeah,
that's been the
what
whole
he should have
problem
done
with
like a
United
year
last
ago.
season.
That's what he should have done like a year ago at the end of the day, and it's like, I don't know. I think, like you said, there will be moments in the season where he's going to be under like so much pressure as well because he's joined Man United, because he's seen as the big transfer, and you know it's been like that for a year now. There's going to be just so much eyes and pressure on him, and you know it depends on just how he does. You know, has he recovered from missing that penalty, for example, in the shootout? You know, for example, you know you got to take these things into account as well. I think he'll come good eventually, but I do think I can see there, like you say, being quite a slow start where people will be doubting him. But he will be getting a lot of game. You know, he will be starting pretty much every game as well, considering Rashford's injured for the first 2-3 months, I think, as well. But
Oh,
yeah,
shit, yeah, he's out, isn't he?
yeah. So there's going to be even more pressure on Sancho, but you know, he's a very good player, but there will be. I think it will take some time as well for him to adapt, like you said.
But it's the price tag as well. For 70 odd million or whatever pounds, there's going to be a certain level of expectation that's going to be put on his shoulders. And we've seen with Pogba, he's not performed to that level. The price tag kind of got to him. Same with Maguire to a certain extent. It took him time to be able to get there. So the expectation is going to be massive on his shoulders. And if he doesn't perform from day one, which he won't, and he shouldn't be expected to. So I think he'll get there. It'll take time. But I think Man United fans want him to hit the ground running, and I just don't think he will do.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Big up Karan with the super chat saying, will Haaland alone be the answer to Chelsea's chances next season, or is Declan Rice needed as well? Not Declan Rice, please. Like
Rice.
Declan Rice, you know.
Thank you.
Declan Rice.
Thank you.
Well, you've got Kante and Jorginho.
It's not getting in their heads, man. Like, why do we need to spend 70 million on Declan Rice? This isn't me going at Quran. I'm just going off on a tangent in itself. The obsession is ridiculous. They want 100 million for this guy.
I think he's a decent player. That's it.
I'm not saying he's shit or nothing. I'm saying he's not worth that.
The obsession towards him's a joke still. Like, as Flawless says, we've got Rice at home in it, you know, as he says, you know. But like,
you could go for Chouameni for 35, 45 million. You could go for Boubacar Kamara for 15 million euros. Could have got Samara a few years ago. Zakari is another option as well. But we keep obsessing with Declan Rice. And he's a good DM and everything, but he's not worth nearly half the price
tag. Or is
tag.
that official, is official sources saying that he's interested, or they're linking him? Because when you've got Kante and when you've got Jorginho, they're two of the best in their position. So why would you need a third?
We need a tall, imposing DM because we just don't have that profile on our squad.
Apparently he's Mason Mount's best mate as well.
This is a big thing. He's close with Mason Mount and a lot of the players to Chelsea youth because he used to come from the academy. He was in the same age bracket as all of them. He's been basically twerking for us for the last year and a half non-stop, and it's relentless. And to be honest, I can respect it. We're Chelsea and everything. I kind of expect it. But same way, as West Ham vice-captain, it's a bit mad as well. I think for the price tag, like, he's not even worth half that. I think he's a good DM and everything, but he's not worth this, and we could get the same with the same ceiling as well for half the price.
Yo, imagine if England had won the Euros, how even more inflated his price would have become then. Imagine if they'd have won that final. It would have been even more, bro.
I'd hope so. So he could actually just say hell no and leave it.
Why do you think Man United paid 80 million for Maguire? Euros.
The World Cup. Had he had the World Cup?
Yeah, the World Cup as well.
The World Cup, that was it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a World Cup plus a year later. But they were
yeah. But I thought it was at the same time. I was thinking, okay, that makes sense. But it was the year after.
It was the year after, but that was what put him on the map. Like for England fans, and just like Rice has kind of in the same position.
Yeah, I think England fans are rating him a lot more because of it. But like, he didn't even have an amazing Euros. Like, he was good in the final, But the games leading
Phillips
up
was
to it,
better.
yeah, Phillips was better than him the whole tournament. But I mean, by his own standard,
Yeah,
he
he
got
was,
better for the final. But at the start, he was shocking.
Mm.
And I'm thinking we need someone who, at the very least, shows himself for the ball when we're in possession. Because he doesn't do that. Defensively, I mean, he can sweep up. He can do a job there. Like, he's not bad or anything. But you're going to slap a 70 mil minimum price tag on this guy's head and tell me he's worth it.
No.
And then you still want us to go for Erling Haaland as well. Like, we've got money, but we clearly don't have the money for both because we would have already spent the money on both. And even then, we would have wasted it on Declan Rice anyway because he's just not worth that price tag. And then you have that price tag on his head as well. He now has to perform at an £80 million level. You can't do that. Maybe he could reach that level with the right coaching.
So how would you
No
say you get
chance.
him? How would you play him? Would you play him and then so you play him as the DM, then Mount as the 8, and then Havertz as
Kante's
the
obviously there
10?
as well.
I
Is
think
that how you structure it?
if we played 5 at the back, he don't start for me. Which is again an
This is what I
£80 million man on the bench. Like, I'm not benching him for Jorginho and Kante.
And
No
he won't get
chance.
wages
Any of
anywhere
those two,
else.
to be fair, what those two have done in the past season, last few months, Kante winning Champions League, Jorginho winning Champions League and Euros, and playing such a big role. Like, you can't drop any of them for Declan Rice at the end of the day. Like, come on, innit? Like,
And Rice
Neither
is
of them
good,
can do. You
but
can
not like-
rotate. Right? Yeah, Rice is good. He's just not worth that price tag.
Mhm.
But we keep persisting with this guy. Tuchel likes him. Frank Lampard really wanted him. But I think Tuchel has his eyes on a few profiles. He also likes Tchouaméni. He also likes Kamara as well. So we don't necessarily need to go for either of them. We could easily just go for Tchouaméni. We could get Tchouaméni and Kamara and they'd still cost about less than Declan Rice would. So why are we going for Declan Rice when in a midfield 2, he isn't going to start over either of them? You could rotate him, but a Rice and Kante pivot has no progressive passes whatsoever. And Jorginho and Rice, to be honest, would be a bit good as well, but you don't have anyone that can drive with the ball.
But if you play both of them, then you've got to get rid of either Mount, which you don't want to do, or Havertz, he's another £70 million signing.
exactly.
So you're a lose-lose if you buy him, in my opinion.
We just have an £80 million guy warming the bench in our biggest matches, and it just wouldn't be worth it. At least with a Tchouaméni or a Kamara, with the price tag that they have, you can have them sit on the bench and then play their way into the team.
Mm-hmm.
£80 million guy, he has to start. If anything, the board are going to push for him to start games.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, why is the guy we spent £80 million for sitting on the bench each match? That you should be getting more out of him. Karan's also saying, do you think there can be a twist in the Haaland saga and get him signed before the opening game against Crystal Palace? He is in training right now, so it would all depend on how... If it gets anywhere near the Super Cup match, he isn't making the Crystal Palace match. But to be honest, I think we're all thinking ahead of ourselves anyway. We need to just get a bid accepted first. We've only just dropped the £130 million bid. Well, I actually tell a lie. It's being dropped in the next few days, but we know the club is actually dropping this bid. It's not just going round in circles with the same news like we've done for the last month and a half. It's actually happening. So we're going to table a £130 million bid. I'm not sure how much is up front, which is probably going to get rejected anyway. But we're just testing their resolve to see if they actually want to sell him or if they're really going to keep him for next season. Because they do sound like they want to keep him anyway. So I'm not sure. It all depends on if we can actually get them to sell Haaland. If we get up to 150 million, 160 million, they still say no, just leave it. Like, you've done the best you can, just leave it. No one's really going to say anything or say that you lot flopped. Try and push for Romelu Lukaku if it isn't too late. If not, like they said, we're in for a striker, so then we're going to be into panic season. And then you lot can say it's actually like 2017. But until then, we still just need a bit of patience. I'm not sure if we can get him signed before Palace, but if Dortmund want to sell him, then I think we can, because we have enough time to do it.
I found out today as well the window closes on the 31st of August, so you got plenty of time. You got over a month.
Well, that's still well over a month still. Like.
Yeah,
but I think if the season starts and Haaland is still there, then he ain't going.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dortmund
Yeah,
to be
Dortmund are
honest, I'm
hard to
surprised
deal
Dortmund are
with,
still
though.
selling, because usually they stop at pre-season. They stop selling any of their players. It happened last season with United, but they've come back to training and Sancho's now gone and Erling Haaland could potentially still leave. And we heard a few minutes ago there's no deadline on the Haaland transfer either. So it could even go towards deadline day. But I don't think it's what we want anyway. We want this done quick.
You want them in pre-season. Arguably, you want as much pre-season as possible so you can get in and get them on.
Yeah, because we need him to link up well with the squad. We need him to have good chemistry with the team as well. He's already going to come in and need to adjust. And I've already said that. If he comes, I'm not going to be like, Erling Haaland's dragging us kicking and streaming to the title. It puts us in a good spot, but I still don't think he's going to have an amazing first season. He still has to adapt the same way most players have to when they come from the Bundesliga to the Premier League. He's used to playing with a lot of space. He isn't going to get that in the Premier League.
I mean, when you do look at Haaland, though, I
FC.
mean, Chelsea creates so many chances anyway in games that all you need is just a clinical guy, and Haaland's finishing is elite. Like, I think he'll be fine if he joins. It's like with Werner, it's a difference because Werner wasn't even clinical at Leipzig. That's the thing where he would miss a lot of chances at Leipzig. Haaland just doesn't miss chances, bro. Like, I think he'd come in and like
He does miss chances.
what does he?
I think he missed more big chances last season than Werner did.
Really? I just know his
obviously got
conversion rate. To be honest, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he obviously got 41 goals in the season still. But do you see how many chances you make in the Bundesliga?
That's true. That's
As
high
opposed
line.
to the
That's
Premier
just a
League.
high line league, bro. Like,
That's the thing. And I don't really know what he's like when you put him against low blocks. Like, I was watching, Norway during the international break. I forgot what team it was. They slapped them about 3-0. And Haaland, he didn't have a terrible game, just had no service. But he can't really, it's just made me look like he can't really make his own chances against low blocks. Which is why I'm saying the guy is going to have to adapt when he comes to the Premier League. So I'm not saying he's going to ball out or anything for us. Maybe if you play him next to Timo Werner, it will work. Because Werner will be able to open up spaces for him. So then he'll have more space to work with. So that might work. It's not like he's going to be a failure in the Premier League. I think after he adjusts, that's it. You're looking at one of the best strikers in the league, if not the best striker in the league. But he ain't going to hit the ground running. I might even put money on it.
He's not going to. Same thing as Sancho as well, for that same reason.
Do you know what, right? I can think of only one player to have ever, like, in recent history to come from the Bundesliga to Premier League and score goals straight away, and that's Aubameyang. It's the only one I can think of. Even when De Bruyne came in.
What happened now?
Yeah, it's different. That's obviously as a team's declined. Arsenal, he's declined as well, and he's also gone older. But in terms of, he came from the Bundesliga, he scored, I wouldn't say the contract either. We just not creating enough chances for him anymore. But in terms of his first season, he came in, he had 10 goals in his... How many goals did Werner have last season in the Premier League?
In the league, about 5.
Aubameyang had 10 in that one half of the season, in his first half. He didn't have the whole season, he had 10 already.
He did hit the ground running that season.
And the next year he won the Golden Boot. And the year after that, he was 1 goal off the Golden Boot. So that's one of the only examples of a player that's come in from the Bundesliga and like turned up straight away. But obviously, after his contract, he's declined a little bit. But I classify that more in Arsenal as well. We just were awful at creating chances. Look at our numbers; they're awful. When he had players like Ozil,
I blame on the contract.
Yeah, you could blame on the contract as well. But the team's declined, so there's no denying the team's declined. And
Team's declined, but Aubameyang didn't decline with the team.
Aubameyang in that year when he won the Golden Boot, he had a lot of good players that can create chances. Ozil was still there, Ramsey was still there, even Kolasinac and Iwobi were creating chances. And the year after that, he really overperformed expected goals. Like, he was just banging every goal in from every little chance he was getting. Then this year, he's just kind of leveled out a little bit. But even in his worst year, he had 17 goals in all comps. That's in his worst year. So he's still
in the Premier League, though.
In the Premier League, he had
how
10.
many did he get this year?
In the Premier League, he had 11 or 10.
Still,
So-
for the levels that he set, it's still
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And if you want to be
Yeah.
consistent and consider the Premier League great, you have to do it season in, season out.
I'm not saying he's a Premier League great. I'm just saying more or less he's the only example of a player that's come from the Bundesliga and just ripped it apart straight away. Werner couldn't do it. Havertz couldn't do it. De Bruyne as well in his first couple of years. Like first year, he was like hit and miss as well. So I can think of very few players that have come
I
from
think
that league.
Son have a good start.
Son in his first year as well was pretty iffy. His first season.
I think
Firmino
Son was
maybe.
on and off in his first
Firmino
season.
again another example. Firmino in the
Firmino
first year,
came in summer 2015.
and he struggled that
Under
first year.
Rodgers, started really bad.
Yeah,
under
you guys
Rodgers.
as well in the comment section. Let us know if you think of any Bundesliga players that hit the ground running when they came into the Premier League.
I think Aubameyang is the only example that, like Babs, I can think of off the top of my head, because I remember he came in. Was it in January he came in, Babs? And that,
January.
like you said, that half
Jan
second half-
2018.
I think one of the reasons why Aubameyang probably doesn't
34 goal
didn't get
contributions.
That
I
sounds
saw it was
better.
more 20.
15 pre-assists.
I saw 27. I big up the pre-assists. My guy Jorginho's king of that.
He's not Ozil. That's Ozil's stat. Pre-assist was Ozil. It was always Ozil.
What happened to him? He got kicked out of the club as well.
Yeah,
Michael Ballack. Yeah,
there's a long story
to be
behind
fair,
it. I was too young for
To
that.
be fair, I thought Michael Ballack's first season he had to adjust a little bit as well. Just
Oba
off my
was in
memory, 'cause
straight
it's still
away.
a bit new to me because that was my first season watching football.
I
But
saw a stat,
I remember
right?
people saying Michael Ballack wasn't really at his best in his
What
first season.
about Ilkay Gundogan?
In his first year.
Did he
In his
start?
first year was.
Did he get injured at the start? I think he.
I'm
Pulisic?
talking about.
Nah, Pulisic had to adjust.
Nah.
He came in towards the end of his first
I remember
season.
seeing a stat, right, where it showed Aubameyang's he scored his first 50 Premier League goals, and it was minutes per goal compared to the great strikers in the league, and he was, I think, a minute behind Henry and like the top 3 strikers. So he was just constantly banging in goals. So all of us got used to how he's just banging in goals, and now when he's declined, we're just like, oh well, it's not his
Even
level anymore,
Sane
but-
was a bit on and off
I
at the
think he-
start.
Even-
I think.
Yeah, Sane, no, was second season. 17-18, Sane was killer.
Sane was
But
smoked at the
16-17
Only
won at
Oba.
that level, yeah.
Only Oba. I can only think of one player that's Oba.
Man is saying
Listen to
Joe
someone else.
Linton.
Yeah, there you go. Another,
Yeah,
Joe
that was
Linton
really
banged in like 15 goals for Hoffenheim. He banged in 15 goals in that league, and he came here and he hasn't scored more than 10.
Andre Schürrle, he had a good first season for us, but was he a starter in 13-14? No, it was
Not
Hazard,
Aubameyang
Oscar,
level,
William.
Not a bad
Yeah.
level.
He had a good first season, but I don't think he was a starter for us. So it's only in moderation.
Salah
Kevin De Bruyne, he had a good first
Serie A,
season.
Yeah, the good
Again,
first
not
season,
his peak levels, but he had a good first season. So I think I'd put Kevin De Bruyne up there as well, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Salah came from the Italian
Salah
league.
came
G.
from Serie A, not Bundesliga.
Yeah. And Salah had already
Roma.
played in the Premier League.
But you know, Babs, what you were saying about Aubameyang, to be fair, like, you know, when he came to England from Bundesliga, he was on fire second half of the season. I think this might sound stupid, but like one of the reasons why he probably doesn't get enough respect and ratings for it is because I remember Salah just being on so much smoke that season where he scored like 40 odd goals. And I think that because Salah was just racing away, all the attention was going on him. And that
Oh,
meant
jeez,
Aubameyang
look who
wasn't
turned up. Yes, bro.
What going on, innit? What's going on? You man good?
Hey,
Yes,
good,
bro.
man.
What you man
How's
saying?
the event,
I
man?
just thought I'd drop in quick, man. What you man telling me?
Yo,
Yeah,
We're
bro,
telling you
go
about
on.
Sancho, innit?
Yeah, tell
Yo,
me
you-
jump in. All right, cool. Yeah, see you. Thank
You backed the JD out
Oh,
yet?
one sec.
Sancho's done.
Oh yeah, we finally announced it, innit? Yeah.
You got the JD out,
we
my
finally
G.
announced. Yo, can you man hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yo. Yeah. Calm, I can hear you, man. There's hella noise in there and that. But yeah, we finally announced Sancho. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? But now it looks like Pogba's leaving, so we'll see what happens, innit? We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
What's happening with Pogba and the contract?
No idea, fam. Reportedly, he turned it down, though. That's what he was saying. He turned it down, so it makes sense. I think he'll probably go PSG, innit? You know what I'm saying? If he's turning down contracts, he's in the last year of his deal. They're not going to want to lose him on a free, innit? So he might go in it. But yeah, man, I'm gassed about Sancho still. You know what I'm saying? And
If you don't get Varane and Pogba though, if you get Varane though, do you think Pogba stays?
Maybe. I'm not sure in that. Yes, T, what are you saying? Jody said go in, yeah? He said go in, yeah? All right. Who? I'm not
But
sure.
yeah, I think
I'm not sure, but Jody's in there anyway. He said,
we'll have
yeah,
to
go.
see because if they're spending the money with Varane, I don't think them two deals are related. To be honest, I don't think one can convince somebody to stay.
Wait, say that again. Sorry. I was just sorting out the comment section quick.
I don't think them two are related in terms of like if Pogba will stay because of Varane, it will be one or the other. I don't think
No,
them
because
two
I
are
feel
really
like
related.
Pogba's leaving because Manchester United they haven't
think
really
Pogba's
done
going.
much in the last 5 years.
But
But that's the
how old is
strongest team that
Pogba?
they've had.
Is it
How old
about
is
20
Pogba?
left, to be honest?
Exactly. So he's 28 years old. He's thinking to himself, I've not won a Premier League title. We're not going to win a Champions
I
League
need to
anytime
win.
soon.
He's
They're
thinking
just-
I need
they're
to win
just
a
not.
Champions League.
Right.
And
Exactly.
bro,
He needs to win
PSG building
something.
some super team out there.
Pogba's been at Man United for how many years now, and he's won
Hey,
2 trophies:
I'd
the Carabao
go 5
Cup
years.
and Europa
5 years.
League. Yeah, and that's it.
Facts.
So he's obviously thinking like he's going. This is the last year, like last big contract I'm gonna get. I'm a peak of my powers. Let me move to somewhere that I can compete now. And obviously
Bro,
PSG. He's not like he's not got.
you know, that
He's going to his home country
Oh,
again. He's linking up with Mbappe. He's linking up with players like Neymar as well.
Verratti,
So it's not like he's
Ramos.
going to know. He's going to
Ronaldo.
Paris, man, and also the city in Paris. So he wants to go Paris. Of course, he wants to go Paris. Compare Manchester to Paris. Like, with all due respect to Manchester, I like Manny, but come on, it's Paris.
Relax.
It's Paris. Yo, it's
mouth,
why would I go to the
your
Paris,
mouth,
man? You got the
man.
Eiffel
Yeah,
Tower
you
there.
got
What
your
you-
Mouth, you're in there. You can slander my
Oi.
team, but what's your mouth
you
about
see
Manchester?
that?
What's your
Paris is a
mouth?
bit
No,
of a
but-
dive plots as well. Trust me, it's not all sunshines and rainbows over in Paris.
No, I know
It's
it isn't,
more
but
like
it's
that cross on
still
tower,
Paris.
what's it
You know what I mean?
called?
It's still.
Got that cross on tower. You know what I mean? This is an overrated ass tower in that. No
Bro,
one
they got the Eiffel Tower. What have you got?
Blackpool Tower,
cross on
all
tower.
them
in
ones.
that. We got Old Trafford. That's what we have in that, fam. You know
Oh,
what
you
I'm
got
saying?
Old
yeah,
Trafford.
man,
Yeah.
it's the shit.
And Champions Leagues, that's what we got. You know what I mean? And more Premier League titles than anybody else. That's what we have. You know what I'm saying?
Don't PSG have a Champions League
Yeah.
title?
Say that. Oh, see, you might have getting me in beef in that. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, but have you got this season's Champions League though?
Alright, cool. You man, love though. Obviously, I had to jump in to say bless to the Shameless gang in that, innit? The man's out. I need to.
I no worries, man. Flawless. I'll
Yeah,
shout
big
you
up,
tomorrow,
big
bro.
up, yeah.
Every time, yeah. Shout me, yeah. Big up you, man.
Bless. Big up Dinishan as well, saying if Erling Haaland gets those Werner chances, he would score 20 plus. To be honest, he probably would bag 20 plus with half of those chances. Yep. We've gone through the United news and everything. Babs, let's talk about Arsenal. Aaron
What's going on
Ramsdale.
with Aaron Ramsdale? I need to know about this still.
If you lot are going to
Ramsdale,
spend
you know.
30 million on Aaron Ramsdale, but you lot are going to pansy around with European champion Tammy Abraham, I need to ask some questions about your motives for this summer and the upcoming season.
Ramsdale.
We're not spending £30 million on Ramsdale. That's not happening. It was confirmed today by Ornstein. That's not happening. Right? I don't know why we want him in the first place, but we're not spending £30 million. If we buy him, it'll probably be £20 million. But even then, it's a rip-off. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand it either. And the worst thing is, like,
Martinez, you know.
everyone that's confirmed.
thinking.
No, listen. With Martinez, that
17
guy.
mil.
With Martinez, right? I respect him so much, but he's a big time pussy, man. That guy. I swear to God, people get it twisted. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out.
Big
Hear
time
me out.
pussy,
So,
man.
no, listen. Hear me out. Right? You lot don't know the whole
We have
story.
some
Like,
soul.
you lot have heard the narrative. Let me tell you the actual, like, the truth behind it. With Martinez at Arsenal, he was our number one after Leno got injured. Leno that year, when he got injured, was our best player that year after Aubameyang. He was very good that season. It's not like he was no bum, like people see him as now, right?
Yeah.
He's had a very good season. He's got injured. Unfortunate injury is what it is. He's out for the year. Martinez comes in. He's been at Arsenal for 10 years, and I've seen this guy play countless amount of times, and he was nothing but average. There was a game he played against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup that same season,
the
and he was
5-0.
horrific. Exactly, and he was horrific. You remember that game?
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's been average for the whole of his Arsenal career. He's never done anything special. He's coming for what? 3, 4, 5 months. He's done all right. He's done fantastic. Fair enough to him. Arteta says to him, right? And this isn't Martinez's own words. You are 95% my first team goalkeeper this season. As in, like, you're 95% sure to be the first team keeper, the number one at Arsenal. He's gone, well, why is it 95? Why can't it be 100%? Well, obviously it's going to be 95 because you're up against a German international goalkeeper who's done nothing wrong for Arsenal and burnt Leno. So Martinez could have stayed at Arsenal and competed with Leno, which wouldn't be that. As he said, he's 95% assured to be the number one. But instead of that, he goes, well, let me go to Aston Villa instead. And fair enough to him, he's done well there. But don't get it twisted for a second. Arsenal wanted to keep him. After the FA Cup final, there was reports about giving him a new contract, and he was about to sign one. But once he was told he was 95% sure of being the number one, he's like, I need to be 100. Fair enough, that's your choice. But we've got another good goalkeeper who's no bum. Let's not act like Leno's a bum. He's a good goalkeeper. He's nothing special. He's not world class, but he's a good goalkeeper, and he's done well for Arsenal up until that stage as well. So I don't want to hear this Martinez talk about Arsenal
Are
sold
there
him
rumours
for.
that Leno might be leaving?
No, yeah, exactly. Arsenal, his contract runs out the year after the next, so he's got 2 years left of his contract right now, and also looking to sell him as well. But it's not a matter of, we gave Martinez the number one spot. It was like, you're 95% assured, not 85, it was 95%.
It still should have been 100.
He started the Community Shield against Liverpool over Leno. He started that game.
It's a community shield.
One
It's a
game.
friendly.
No, but the whole point was, going into the first game of the season against Fulham, there was a lot of reports of who's going to be Arsenal's number one. Is it going to be Martinez or is it going to be Leno? It was Martinez. but
I
only
wouldn't
because
even
he
give Leno
refused.
from what I
Bad
remember.
business. You can
No,
tell
he
me the
started. No,
context.
Leno started
you can-
because Martinez said, if I'm not 100%, I'm leaving, and that's what it was.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but again, at the same time,
Excuse
why would
me,
you want to
Asad,
stay another
please
year?
respect Kepa. He's played less games and has more clean
So
sheets in the
I
Premier League.
understand that you guys are a bit bamboozled. Arsenal sold Martinez, and look at that.
No.
That's hindsight. That's hindsight. You can see it
Martinez is
now.
quality, though.
Exactly. But if I spoke to you guys a year ago, Martinez has just come into the Arsenal team. If I spoke to you then, you'd be like, Martinez is alright. Hindsight is
thought
different.
Martinez was
Everyone,
quality at
yeah,
that
we
time.
should have signed. With hindsight, we should have signed Messi when he was 16. We didn't. It didn't happen. End of life. Right. Move on with it. We should have signed Ronaldo when we could have signed Messi. We didn't do it. Hindsight is different. We can all say it now. Oh, it's easy. There's a lot of things in your own lives. I'll tell you right now. With hindsight, it's easier. With Martinez, he was a
Yeah,
good goalkeeper.
but
He's
he's not
become
the
better
only
since.
It's
what's
not
the
just
only one?
him. Look how many players. Bert Leno levels, you could admit that season dropped massively. Aubameyang's levels dropped massively. Pepe
Wait, last
didn't
season,
hit
right?
the level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
loads of
No,
players
I'm talking-
didn't hit the
I'm
levels where they
talking
should have
about
been hitting.
Leno
So it's a
pre-injury.
consistent thing. So when Leno doesn't perform and Martinez does, you can understand why people go, well, he's obviously left Arsenal for the right reasons. So that's the thing. It's not just like he's the one-off story. With Arsenal, a lot of players have dropped their levels to everybody can admit to levels they should be performing better at. So you can see that. And Bernd Leno should be doing a lot better than what he was doing last season.
Leno's a good
That's nobody
keeper,
really
but
got
like
his own
I said, he's not like.
No, but the whole point being, this is now. You're saying he's a good keeper now. Last season, before his injury, a lot of even Chelsea fans were saying this guy is top 3, top 4 keeper in the league because he had a good season. He was our second best player that year,
I saw him
pre-injury,
misplace a punch
right?
against the Emirates.
Pre-injury, and that was his only mistake for the season, by the way. That was his only mistake, was that punch against Chelsea. Apart from that,
No,
he
he got
was
nutmegged by Tammy
fantastic.
5 minutes
He
afterwards.
was fantastic for the whole season, and then he got injured. So Arsenal are not gonna. If a player does his ligament, or was it? I think it was a cruciate ligament, and he's
Was
done
it that
nothing
Mopai
wrong up until
thing?
that point. Sorry, yeah, it was the Mopai thing. That was it.
Yeah.
What
What you're
landed
saying,
all
bro,
groggy.
is you don't have a backup option, and that's called bad business. If there's something happens to a main key player, you have a backup option to go, okay, we can rely on this player to fill
We
in the
did.
gap whilst this
And it was
happens.
Martinez. We had Martinez
Yes, but
as
who's
the
your
backup.
third keeper as well.
The
with
third keeper's always
Arsenal, you should have
youngsters.
that.
We
Don't
have
matter.
third keepers. So the whole
Yeah, but
point being with
obviously it
Leno
wasn't
now.
good enough.
So with Leno right now, Arsenal saying to him, listen, you've got 2 years left in his contract right now. You got 1 year left next year. It's down to you. If you want to leave, we're more than happy to move you on because you're now in that age of your career where you're not going to get much better. Right? We can move you on and find a younger goalkeeper that can play better out of the back and all that stuff. Fantastic. But with Martinez, I don't want to hear that. We wanted to keep him. We offered him a new contract as well and said 95% you're going to start as Arsenal's first team keeper. If he says no to that, that's his personal choice. There's nothing we could do about that. There's
But
nothing
how
more we
does
can do
make-
about that.
But if we go back, how does that make him a pussy?
Yeah,
Because he could have stayed and fought for his place, but he said, "Nah, I'm scared that maybe I'm not better than Lennon. Maybe he had insecure doubts about himself. Maybe he was scared that his past Arsenal experiences will come again, and he's gonna get dropped after a couple of mistakes. That's the fear. At
didn't
Villa,
seem
he can
scared
make mistakes.
drops in Villa.
And
Exactly, because he's got
good Villa.
because who's the number 2? Who's the number 2 at Villa? Can you name it to me?
Reina,
Exactly.
Nah, Reina was
Pepe
before.
Reina.
There was
And he was
Heaton.
on loan.
Heaton was
Heaton
a
and Pepe
decent
Reina.
keeper.
And then you've got Bernd Leno, a German international goalkeeper, right, who competes with Manuel Neuer and Ter Stegen. This guy is no bum, right? People, nowadays, you're either a world-class keeper or a bum. Is an in-between, and that's what Leno is right now,
No.
right?
Pretty much.
So-
There's pretty much in-line keepers. It's a
So is he a
spectrum.
bum then?
He's
Is he a
not a
bum?
bum.
No,
Nah,
but you're
Leno's
the one
not
saying he's
bad.
either, and I'm saying he's not. He's
He's in the
performing
middle.
a lot. He's a good.
I'll call
His
him a bum,
potential
I
is
can't
good.
lie.
Exactly.
His
He's a
level
good
is
keeper.
dropped.
Yeah, that's just
He's a
agenda
he's a
stuff.
good keeper.
He's
He's a
bum,
good
you know.
keeper.
He's
He
not a
ain't no
great keeper.
he
He's not a
ain't no bum. Exactly. So at Villa, they had no other good
That's not what you
goalkeeper.
said.
Did you?
You said it was
No,
either world class keepers or bums. Now you're going back.
I
Come
said-
on, Babs. I'll call you out. on
No,
your shit.
no. I
You
said
there's one or two.
nowadays. No, I said nowadays. This is the issue with us. Is nowadays is only world class keepers or world class players. This guy's the best in the world, or this guy's completely awful and he's just a bum. Leno
I
for
think
me
it's
is in
when
between
you
all of
compare him
that.
to Martinez, I think that's why people get onto him. That's it. It's
No,
like because
obviously. Wait, you mean now or you mean in the past?
I think even then, because I think when Martinez came into the side, I was like, whoa, this guy is actually a lot better than Leno. I was so impressed with Martinez. Like, you won an FA Cup. I remember you beat us a couple of times as well. And, like,
Exactly.
literally, we
And
couldn't
on
get
that
near your
behalf-
goal because Martinez was so commanding for your defense.
Exactly.
Like,
And on that behalf, I also said you're 95%. I keep saying it because it's the fact. That's Mrs. Martinez's own words. He was asked about this, I think, in some interview with Argentina, and he was asked about it, and he said, yeah, I was given a 95% assurance. And I just said, listen, I want 100. That's his choice. But for me,
But if he
that
was there
makes
for
you
10
not...
years, he knows
Yeah,
the
yeah.
club enough in that 10-year period to make up his mind and go, right, I'm going to get first team at Aston Villa. Because he's been there for 10 years
It's
as a
not
second
just that.
keeper.
It's also, as I said, there's no other keeper at Villa that can compete with him. That is on his level. That is on that same pedigree. You
Tom
can't name
Heaton
him.
was
At
a
Arsenal,
decent quality
he's
keeper.
decent,
He was
but he's
one of
not
the
a
best
Bernd Leno.
for Burnley. He was one of the best keepers in the league.
So Tom Heaton is 37, 30,
Yeah,
how old
he
is
was,
it? It's
bro.
the end of his career. Leno
was-
is in his peak. He's 29, 30 years of it. He's just peak of a goalkeeper's career. So you've got two keepers in their peak, right? Who have both got good pedigree. Leno is a fan's favourite at the time. Everyone loves him. No one hates Bernd Leno, right? So obviously, you were never going to be 100% with Bernd Leno there. Cool, we have sold Leno. Yes, we could have. But there was no offers for Leno last summer. I'm sure if Leno was offered, someone said, oh, here's £50 million for Bernd Leno, Arsenal would have accepted it and get Martinez. But in fact, the only player we did get an offer for was Martinez. We wanted to sell Guendouzi, couldn't do that because no one wanted to buy him. We wanted to sell.
Martinez though. When you consider Ramsdale's being touted for 30
Again,
million.
it's hindsight. It's hindsight, bro. Because a year ago, everyone was saying that's a good deal. Well, this guy's never played for Arsenal. He's only had 4 good months. If he had gone to Villa and he had just become the Martinez, the one against Liverpool, the one that's just pretty average, the one that no one cares about that much. No one cares about him going, but because he's done well and it's Arsenal, everything's just
It's
Arsenal
not because
again.
of Arsenal. It's just it's called
Yeah,
bad
bro,
business.
I've had
And the thing
experience.
is, you got to admit, Arsenal
With
have done bad business for the last 5 years. Really, they haven't really done any great business.
How
In
many
terms of
other
even
players-
contracts, you look at the likes of even Lacazette. Sure, you've signed him for £50 million or 50 million euros, and you're willing to let him go on a free for next year. That is bad business, man. Regardless, that is bad business.
Exactly. That is bad business. That is bad business, but that is why those people that gave those contracts out, that, were the board then, have been sacked. So if you now want to judge Arsenal on the current board that are still there right now, you could say that
How
Martinez is
long
a
have they been
mistake.
there?
Right? They've been there since last summer. So since last summer, you want to talk about contracts? Let's talk contracts. Let's talk contracts. And let's talk Bukayo Saka signed down to a 5-year contract. Kieran Tierney signed down to a 5-year contract. Fuller and Balogun signed down to a 5-year contract. Emil Smith-Rowe signed down to a 5-year contract. All these young players, there are probably more I'm forgetting here. So we were bad with contracts in the past. I 100% agree with that.
Then
but
you
now,
put Willian on a 3-year contract.
exactly. So they made mistakes as well, right? But the whole point being,
That was your point. That was legit your point. I mean, it's a good point,
What?
Ryan. But yeah.
But yeah,
That
in
was
terms of
like, oh, yeah,
Lacazette, players like Lacazette and players like that, for example, that was not them ultimately. You used Lacazette as an example. They didn't sign Lacazette and they didn't pay the money. But they had
How
their
much
mistakes
did
like
that
Willian.
put on?
Lacazette, wages wise, you mean?
Yeah.
190 or 200, I don't know, man. He signed in 2017 and he was
damn.
big money. If you pay £50 million for a player who
No,
was from-
2018 I get it because he was a baller back then. But
Yeah,
now it's
exactly.
just-
So I don't know how much he's
liked
on.
him back then.
But yeah, man, contracts have been an issue, but that's why the one positive I have now is at least these players, these young players that were all running out of contracts, have been signed down to long-term contracts to retain their value. So if things go tits up for them, guess what? We can sell them and still have value there. Kieran Tierney's contract expired in 3 years. So we still give a brand new 5-year contract because we're like, okay, let's just sign them up now. We weren't doing that in the past. For your clubs, you might have been. We weren't. So for you guys, which is normal to you, for me, it's just like, oh wow, this is great now.
Tierney's
We'll
a
have to
baller.
see from
still.
here on out because
Tierney's
again,
a
it's
baller.
only if you're saying with the new board. I mean, they've done all right so far, but again, there's still a lot of stuff wrong with Arsenal that they need to get right. Which
There
maybe
is.
they'll get.
Yeah.
But that's why you need time to fix it. It can't just happen overnight. Overnight, you can't just come in. Like, if we were to get the best guy in the board in the world tomorrow, he's not going to come in tomorrow and sell Willian tomorrow and sell Lacazette tomorrow and sell all these players in one day. It's not going to happen. You need summers, sometimes even more summers than that, and years to get past that decline that you were going through. Hence why, in terms of the Arsenal board, they believe that these current guys are the guys, and that's why they're backing them with money and backing them with the decisions and all that stuff. They're backing them. So as much as what we can say as fans and have our opinions, the people that run the club do think these are the right guys.
Yo, Baz, what's happening with Xhaka? I've heard he's still at the club.
He's
I
gone.
thought you guys sold
He's
him
gone.
weeks
40
ago.
mil. He was 40 mil as
40
well.
I
I
thought
thought
he
you
was
sold
35.
Xhaka weeks ago,
35.
though.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
you
no.
sold him for 40 mil. I was like, fair
No, no.
fucking
No.
day.
Xhaka,
That's good
Xhaka
business. Then 45.
is an
That's
example.
amazing business.
So Xhaka is an example, right, of a club like Roma who see Arsenal as the X regime of players. They can come to us and bully us for our players. Oh, well, Xhaka, here's 15 million euros, take it, and that's it. Arsenal have gone, no, we want at least 20. We want at least 20. And unless you give it to us, we're not giving you him. So you can laugh at Arsenal for not selling Xhaka, but they've not budged on the transfer value. Like, give us the money or get lost. So
Was it 12
we
mil?
get the money,
Sounds a
they
bit like
offer 12
Madison
mil.
to me.
They offered 12 mil, they offered 15 mil. So you think Arsenal should just accept that and go, okay, here you go, bro. Like, you know. Obviously Arsenal are gonna hold
How
out for
much
their
did he go
money.
for?
How much is he going for? Arsenal set a 20 million euro price tag. Even
I
that's
think that's
cheap.
decent
Oh,
for
fair
him, you
enough.
know.
Even that is cheap, exactly. But then again, Arsenal have not budged on their value. They've gone, this is the money, give us the money or get lost. Simple as. In the past, we've not done that. We've just kind of gone, let him go. Like Kieran Gibbs is the best example. We got an offer for £50 million, rejected it, and towards the end of the window, accepted a £7 million offer. That was Arsenal. So I actually like the fact that for once they're actually being stubborn in the market. And Xhaka's not a player that you get worse by keeping. He's still a all-right player. He's a first teamer for Arsenal, right? So it's not like a player that you have to get rid of, like a Willian or a Bellerin, who've just have been awful for the past year or so. But yeah, you mentioned Madison. Madison example, you know, Leicester example of they have their price tags and they won't budge. Sometimes, like Dortmund have showed with Sancho, they might lose out on money because Dortmund could have probably got 90 last season, but now they're gonna get 70. But that's why they are stubborn and they hold on to their value and their asset. And Arsenal is starting to slowly do that, which is, I guess, a positive.
Which you were saying that, but you were saying there was 250 million last time, and from that, the money hasn't been really spent in the right place, in my opinion. And if you're on a rebuild, there isn't really a lot that's happening, in my opinion, for Arsenal that's pushing you up into that next tier. And if you want to get back to top four, it's not happening anytime soon. And it will take time.
Yeah, Arsenal's objective this summer was to turn over the older players, even more of those, and bring in young, hungry players that are not young like 20-year-old. I'm talking 21, 22, you know, entering the peak years type of age, right? They've got enough experience. So you've brought in the Congo and Tavares, 21 both, so they're, you know, pretty young players. They've got good potential, they've got good experience as well. But then the main targets, so you got Madison's one. He's what, 25, is he? Or 24? So he's one of the main targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In the peak of his powers, so Arsenal, that's their main target for the attacking midfield. Locatelli is another target that we have. He's 24 or 23.
Anymore.
It's hit and miss because Juve are broke. Juve are really broke. They want to find a creative solution.
I mean Madison.
Oh, Madison. We'll talk about Madison in a second. But yeah, Locatelli 23, Tammy Abraham 24. Is he 24? Tammy Abraham?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, so Tammy
Really? I thought he
24,
was younger than
Madison.
that.
Exactly. So these are players. Arsenal want young, hungry players that are entering the peak years. That's their main objective. And for whatever reason, they're going for English talent as well. Ben White. There you go. Ben White's 23, English. And the reason why English is because they're going, we need players that we spend money on, but also hit the ground running straight away. We've spent money on Pepe. We spent money on Lacazette. We spent money on Partey. But because they're not from England, they're not English, they're not playing the Premier League before, they've struggled. And they might be good in the next couple of years. Pepe might have a great year this year, but he's taken 2 years to do that. We need to get players that understand the Premier League. So if we spend money on Madison and it's £60 million, guess what? If we'd spend that same money on someone elsewhere from a different league, he might not hit the ground running. Whereas Madison, he understands the Premier League. He's played there. He gets the pace. He gets the standard and the climate as well.
I could argue that Ben White hasn't. He's only had 1 year in the Premier League.
But he's
He
done
doesn't
well.
really
Like,
fit what you're saying. And to be fair, he's not had an explosive season. There was a lot of people doubting.
He was the player of the year.
Oh, yeah, he's the next dude.
Did he get
And
player
he's
of the
not
year?
really hit the level.
He was their player of the year. He was Brighton's player of the season,
I
so
thought
he's done
Dunk
well.
was better than him, you know, from what I
Whatever it was, Brighton gave him the player of the year award. So quite clearly, in their opinion, he's had a good season. So I know you said he's only had 1 year, and I
You
hear
think
that.
that's the way of asking for more money for him, though. If they give it, he was Brighton's player of the year.
No,
that
because
might
bro,
put
listen,
Arsenal
Brighton
a bit
fans
more.
really rate this guy. Like I've spoken to every Brighton fan that I know, and they go, "This is the real deal." I spoke to Leeds fans as well, and Leeds fans are like, "Yo, Arsenal, you've got a player here." I'm thinking we've overpaid for him because I haven't seen him play as much. I don't watch Brighton week in week out. Maybe you do, but yeah, Arsenal have gone. These guys clearly showed that he can play in the Premier League. He's climatized to it. That's why he won the Player of the Year at Brighton. And guess what? Okay, cool. How much is he? £50 million. We're gonna have to pay extra. We don't have Champions League football anymore. We don't have that.
Yeah.
If we were Liverpool, you got Champions League football, you got the attraction there. Same with Man United and we don't. So you're gonna have to pay extra to get these players as well now. And then hopefully, if those go on.
Sorry, I do think one thing I'd worry about with Arsenal, and I can say the same thing because Liverpool are doing the same right now with us, is that we're not selling enough of our deadwood in it. Like you man are still like Bellerin and these guys at the club in it. Like these guys is he going?
He's going.
I heard he was staying. I don't
Inter
know.
No, Bellerin's this summer. Bellerin will be gone. Xhaka is basically gone as well.
Yeah, I know Xhaka's going. But
Torreira is most likely going. He's gone. AZ Maitland-Niles is very interesting.
These guys as well, like.
Well, Holding is he kept for the homegrown quota. That's the main reason why.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So, but in terms of Leicester, Maitland-Niles could be very interesting because they clearly have interest in this player.
Ooh.
I mean, he obviously says no, but BBC were reporting the other day. So, but whatever it is, from what I've heard on social media,
swap deal anyone?
No, it's not a direct swap deal. But also have players that I'm sure Leicester will have a level of interest in, like maybe a Willock, for example, or a Maitland-Niles. And if also can put forward a good enough offer financially,
man swapped at West Brom.
Hear me out, right? If we put forward a good enough offer for Maddison and said, hey, you know what, we'll give you a Willock is a great example. Willock's a very good player, very highly rated. He's worth £30 million in the current market. Right, that's the value we're paying.
But you want to sell him, so he obviously isn't worth that much.
We don't want to sell him though. No one's saying we want to sell Willock or Maitland-Niles. We do. Willock, we don't. Willock, we don't. No one's saying we want to sell him. Right. So we don't set a price tag on Willock. But if we were to put Willock in to a Leicester bid and put £50 million with that, it's an offer that's going to be very hard to refuse because you've got a young. Hear me out. You've got a young 20-year-old, 1-year-old coming in here. I know you don't rate Willock like that, but I'm talking about football aspects.
Not even.
Right?
Not even.
So Joe Willock could be a player who could kind of help push that deal forwards. For me, I've heard Leicester do have confirmed interest in Maitland-Niles, and that's from BBC Sport, so I'm going to rely on BBC Sport because they're normally very good, very accurate. So, I don't know, man. I think Maddison's a possibility because I know Leicester fans hate to hear this, right? I think he wants to come to Arsenal.
We can come on. There's a couple of. You said so much, man, and honestly, there's so many points that I've just forgot to invite
Neil,
now.
just before you go to
on to Maitland-Niles.
Ross Baker saying documentary going to be banter, isn't it? We're looking forward to what the season says. Still got to speculate it right now, but we will be doing watch-alongs for it at the end of it. Don't you worry. And Kevin Fraser saying insert daily champions of Europe reminder here. Champions of Europe, we know what we are. Big up yourself, Kevin. Love my G. Go on, Neil. What were you going to say, man?
So there was a couple of bits, but obviously there was a lot that I've covered on. In regards to Maitland-Niles, we were only interested in last year because our squad was obliterated. We lost pretty much all of our midfielders. So we just needed him to come in and loan us over the summer. We're not interested in playing a big part of the team. The reason why was, again, our squad was obliterated. Leicester don't do deals for swap players. We actually turned down Man City. I think they were going to offer 60 million plus somebody for Mahrez, and we turned it down. So we'd go on our terms and actually took 60 million without the player. So we won't do a swap deal. If anything, we would buy your player and take one in. Leicester are starting to build from the academy now rather than buying in Premier League proven players. If you look at a lot of the players that we've transferred, Maguire's one of them. James Maddison came from the Championship. Johnny Evans came from relegated West Brom. We don't really buy that much from the Premier League, to be perfectly honest. Jose Perez didn't work as well. We've put the price. We've set the price. We said James Maddison is for sale. You said you're going to double the wages, sure, but we want 65 million up front, and Arsenal don't want to pay that. So until you pay that, it's a no-go. And so that's what we said. You want to do transfers. You want to do this kind of thing, but we've said 65 million up front. I think it's 70 or 75 because we want to keep him. We want to build a squad and we want to push into the top four. And I know because he's smiling, man, but I should be the one smiling.
No,
at the end of the day,
I see it. I'm smiling.
No, 65 mil up front, and then the rest, then he's yours. Cool. You don't want to pay that, so the deal's not going ahead. It's pretty much as simple as that.
All right. So that price tag you just said was very interesting because it's kind of just confirmed what I know. 65 million pounds is something else we can pay. 110% we can pay that. And you say up front we can pay that up front as well.
It will be about 70.
We can pay that, right? I was scared that you were going to say 70 and 75. Right? That's the value of the player. Because he said with add-ons. Every player has add-ons.
No, 60
Yeah, so
up
he
front,
wants basically
70, 75
he
overall.
wants a 65 guaranteed. That's how the transfer works. People have the
No.
guaranteed fee and then they have add-ons, right? So that's the guarantee.
Go to
hear
our
me,
channel,
hear me.
bruv.
Right,
Go
we'll
to
get
our
into
channel.
it.
A,
We'll-
Fabrizio
Beyond the
Romano
90,
says 65
yes,
up front. B, David Ornstein says 65 up front. C, go to our channel. You'll see Rob Tanner has also said 65 million up front.
I think
in
you're a bit
terms of that's
confused.
the fee, then it's 75.
I think people don't understand how transfers work. Every single transfer you've ever seen, right? Ever seen, whether it's £50 million or £5 million, comes via installments. So when you say
No.
up front, it's mixed, right? Up front means as in your guaranteed value, the asset. You're gonna get that money. That's up front. That's the money you've got. There you go. There you go. There. No one's gonna like Harry Maguire, for example. It's been confirmed by the way.
80 million up front.
It was not up front.
We got that
They
money.
even,
We got that money.
Edward
in
would
one
not
lump
get a
sum
notification
in
on his
one
phone
season.
saying £85 million got directly sent
I'm
over.
gonna research that. You guys
It was
go.
Up
80
front is
million
mixed
up
up
front.
with-
It was the only time we've ever done it
It was
because
not
normally we
upfront.
do it in tiny installments. This was the first time we knew we were going to take it off. Yeah, look, Ant's in the comments as well. 80 million was one installment with 8 million add-ons.
Oh,
Yeah, it was an 80 million lump sum for Harry Maguire.
lump sum, right? You want a
And it
lump
was
sum.
We're doing the same thing
Let-
for
let-
Madison.
overall.
actually.
let me get it clear,
85
right?
overall.
Come on, man,
Let me
let's
get it
go.
clear.
65
This
up
is how
front, let's
transfers
go.
work. This is how transfers work, right? So you've got two options for transfers, and this is my experience of transfers, by the way. So I've done it. I've seen how it works for the last 4-5 years consistently because I'm an Arsenal fan. Everyone knows about transfers nowadays, right? So with how it works is, if you want extra money, to get extra money from a transfer, you do installments, right? And to get more money up front, then the price of the player goes down. So if Leicester want £65 million up front, I don't think that's true. That's your opinion, and I just don't agree with that completely.
It's not my opinion,
But
bruv. don't speak
I
from
have
opinion. I only speak facts.
Arsenal will pull. Look, in the next few weeks, we'll be
Romano,
discussing this as well.
Tanner, Ornstein.
Yeah, fair enough. In the next few weeks, we will be discussing on this channel. Arsenal would have made an offer for Maddison. I don't know how tasty it's going to
Clip
be.
it.
If it's going to be 65 or it's going to be.
Clip
I reckon we're going to see Arsenal put it'll be a bid forwards. We know it will be, right? It's happening in terms of a bid. It'll come through. It's just a matter of how often does a club accept the first bid. That's what it is. And I think that's what's going to happen here is Maddison will agree personal terms with Arsenal, and Fabrizio will tweet out Maddison agrees personal, like Varane at Man United. But then it's down to the clubs to negotiate the fee. And I don't know how hard Leicester are in terms of Arsenal's agreements with Leicester, but there's always little ways to sweeten the deal. So if you say £65 million up front,
I've told you.
if you say £65 million up front, Arsenal can go, we'll give you 55 up front and give you a player
not how
that
it
you
works,
might interest. That's how you think it works, bro.
We don't play.
I know
we
it doesn't
did
work
with
that
Harry
way.
Maguire. We did it with Maguire.
Who
We
were
said
you
80
offered?
million. Man
Who
United
were you
said
offered?
60. All the time. We had it from because Man United and Man City were both going after him, and
No,
we
what were
said
the swap
80
players
million pounds. We did the same thing with Chilwell was another one, with Mahrez was another one as well. So I'm telling you that the fact is this is how we do business, and I'm telling you from a Leicester
Fair
perspective.
enough.
Again, this is not my perspective. This is my club, and also this is the people journalists that report on the club as well. So this is what we do. Again, you said it doesn't happen. The Maguire was 80 million up front, and that's what we did in one installment. We don't play to that. We don't bend to other people's rules. The only way we did is when we sold Kante to these guys. Then after that, if you watch, the club soon sorted out exactly. You really robbed us for that one. But
you gave us
So how was Ben Chilwell? How was Ben Chilwell? Was he up front?
Sorry.
Um,
I'm not
how was
sure,
Ben
actually.
Chilwell?
yeah, I'm not sure. I was trying to research it as well. I'm trying to find out the installment plan, if there was an installment plan. Let me
I will
just
make
check
it clear right now. If Arsenal, if the price tag is £65 million, Arsenal
It's
have the
not,
facilities. No, I'm saying the price.
65 up front.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Listening.
I said if the price tag is 65 million pounds,
Right.
right? If that is the price tag, Arsenal have the facilities to make that happen. It's just a matter of if they value the player that much. That's all it is. But we definitely have the facilities to make it happen. And in terms of the player himself,
Make it happen, then.
I am convinced.
If you
and I'll,
keep
I'll,
playing
and I'll
around,
repeat
bro, he's
myself,
not
right?
coming to you. Just get it
With
done. If
Arsenal,
you want him, just pay the money. Just don't do a Man United.
Calm down. We'll do it in time. Listen, you're not forcing us into transfers.
I'm just funny. I just think it's funny.
Well, listen, the way we're talking is if me and him are actually in negotiations right now for the player. Like this is not how negotiations work.
It's
Right?
shameless, man. This is what's happening.
But my whole point is,
it's all love.
the reason
we've got to pretend
my-
like we represent each other's
No,
clubs,
exactly.
You know?
my one real confidence in this deal is the player himself. I really do think he wants to come to Arsenal. Like, I don't think it's just more of a, if Arsenal bid, I might go. I think he wants to come to Arsenal. And I say this because I watched a video of someone, I don't know who it was recently, but he was talking about how
You
Leicester and
privately
Arsenal...
rejected our offer to pay in installments. But that's the Sun that reported that a few weeks
Who
before
said
the
that?
transfer. No, that it was
Ben Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell. They privately
Okay, yeah.
rejected our offer to pay in installments.
But yeah, in terms of Maddison, he knows that, look, if he does bits at Leicester, it's bits, fair enough. But if he does the same bits at Arsenal, it's Arsenal. We have, brand exposure-wise, we are a bigger institution than Leicester City are. They're a better team than us right now on the pitch, no denying that, right? But in terms of actual exposure a player gets, right, and the grand stage, it's Arsenal. Like, in terms of even the amount of people that watch a game, for example, Leicester's biggest game, in terms of viewing figures wise, might be a normal game for Arsenal, because we just have more fans across the world. And that's why that brand, to grow a player's brand out, I'm sure Maddison wants to do that, Arsenal are a lucrative option. That's why, I think he was Fabrizio Romano said that, there we go. He was one who said that, listen, Arsenal will always be attractive as long as they remain that institution across the world. And we will have that level of juice, let's just call it, for the next 5, 6 to 10 years, right? Because we still have that from the previous years. It might go away after a long period of time, but for now, I think it's more than possible that we can bring Maddison to the Arsenal. It's just a matter of Leicester. That's my biggest fear. But my biggest confidence factor is Maddison himself.
If you listen to what I said, and not just now, but in the previous episodes as well, I never said anything about Maddison not wanting to go to Arsenal. Matter of fact, you've never heard me arguing about that. You can offer him more money, sure. You can offer him a bigger brand, sure. I've never offered that. I'm just saying you have to deal. That's why I've said you can agree personal terms all you want, but the club is the people you have to deal with, and Leicester do not negotiate. We treat it like America with, when they went to Iraq, but we don't deal with terrorists. That's kind of how we do our business. We set the price, you pay the price, you meet our rules, done. Otherwise, don't talk to us. And that's kind of what it is. You're right in terms of Arsenal as a brand and all this kind of other stuff. And we know James Maddison is interested in that stuff, and his girlfriend, I think, she's an influencer, so she's in that circles and stuff like that. I agree. But personal terms is one thing. You can agree to personal terms with the player. It's getting the deal done with the club. And I know my team drive a hard bargain. And that's all I'm saying. It's I said it last time, it's 20 to 30% chance of happening. And that's what it is. And that's the thing at the moment. We're doing okay. We'll be fine. We don't need to sell a player. And if we don't, say this Arsenal transfer, I think is unlikely to go through. We are building something for the future in terms of a top 4 to try and stay there again and again. So at the end of the day, yeah, we potentially would sell our big players if the price came in for them. If Chelsea bids 65 million, he would go to Chelsea, but they don't want him. So I'm saying in that instance. There you go. But that's what I'm saying.
The price you put forwards, forwards is not insurmountable for my club. We could pay that money. As in, like, if you just said, right, Madison's value is £100 million, it's because they've got other transfers to complete, not just in terms of that same position I'm talking about. We've got to still sign a midfielder. But I remember,
Neil, before you go, Artem saying Leicester have the best scouting team in England. Kante, Mahrez, and Didi, Tielemans, Maguire, Lafana, and Soyuncu. They've been finding gems for years, which is also half the reason why they're so good at bouncing back from losing big players, because they always find a good one on the cheap. Oberwan also saying you both talk like you carried a bag. We all do that. I've fallen for it the exact same way as well. When we're talking about transfers and all that, we start acting like we're throwing the money out ourselves. But that's because we're talking about our clubs and we're passionate. But it is what it is. Go on, Neil. What are you saying?
I can't remember now. But yeah, essentially, I've never made the argument that Arsenal weren't a bigger club and a bigger brand. I will admit that, and that's definitely a pulling power for Maddison. But the problem is, I've never argued for Maddison. Maddison might want to go, but that's why I've said 20-30%, because the club set their price and they say what they say. And the thing is, if you're going to eventually pay that money, I mean, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't pay it now. There's no point in holding on and holding on and holding on and eventually not paying them and paying the money later. We've seen it with Sancho. Just go and just do the deal. I mean, we've done it with Maguire for 2 years, and it seems like you and Man United just don't pay them. Just pay the money and just go and do it. And that bit, as a kind of like, it's you are only going to be the people to lose in that situation.
I hear that. I do hear that. But the reason why Man United operate like that and Arsenal do is because they've probably got other things as well they need to do as well. So it's not just a matter of Maddison's our only player we need to sign. Like, you look at Villa and Buendia, right? He was their only target. That was the player they wanted, and they got him because that was the one player they wanted to get. Arsenal want to sign a midfielder like a Locatelli or a Basuma or whoever. We want to sign a 10 like Maddison, or if not Maddison, someone else. We need to sign a striker like Abraham. Clearly, they want a player like Abraham. They want to sign a goalkeeper as well. So you can't just kind of knock one off out of the park straight away, especially with Maddison, because I think Maddison requires after to sell players first. So if we do put a bid forward to Maddison, it'll be after Xhaka confirmed leaves and Bellerin confirmed leaves as well, and then we'll have more money in our bank to then put forward to Leicester up front. I think that's the key there. But I think £65 million is a fee that Arsenal can pay. It's just a matter of how many players can we sell as well, because we can pay that right now if we wanted to, but then the owners are not going to dip their hands into their own pockets. They want to see Arsenal kind of self-sustain, right? So if we can sell Xhaka like we will and sell Bellerin like we most likely will as well, then I can see Arsenal put forward a good bid for Maddison as well. It just depends on Leicester. As I said, I can see this being a transfer like Sancho last year, where it was like personal terms agreed, contract agreed, but Arsenal and Leicester negotiating. Arsenal, Leicester, I can see it happening. So I know how it works. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I want to ask you a question, right? If the 30% does come true and Maddison signs for Arsenal, right, where does that leave Leicester in a sense of top four? Does it dash your hopes? Does it, I don't know, give you money to sign someone else? What are your thoughts then?
So hypothetically, if we lose James Maddison, then we've got two other cams we could play in that position. So we could work around it. We've done it before. We haven't got a right winger. That would probably be our next point of call to try and get somebody in on that right wing position. But I've seen my club recover from it before. We have a transfer in place. However, one of the reasons why I think James Maddison isn't going is because we normally, if you look at the likes of all of our big signings, big players we've lost. Danny Drinkwater, we bought in Adrian Silva before.
That didn't go through because it was so late.
We always bought in a player before the season, and this season we haven't bought in any. We bought in Samore, but he plays as more of a central midfielder. Before Kante went, we brought in Mendy. Before Mahrez went, we brought in Maddison. Before Maguire went, we brought in Benkovic and Soyuncu. Before Chilwell went, we brought in Castagna. So if you see the product that we do, we never sell. We always buy before we sell. And because we haven't bought, and Brendan Rodgers has come out publicly as well at the beginning of the season, or the end of the season last year, and said, none of my big players are going. None of my big players are going. They're staying at Leicester. And the club backs the manager. So that's another reason why. And another way I want to say as well, Smith Rowe has got the number 10 shirt. Apparently confirmed to the Arsenal Bell that he was getting the number 10 shirt as part of the contract. So surely that's an indicator wrong. And part two of that, from what I've heard from Romano, he said that, what's his face? The guy that you had last time, Odegaard, is a bigger target than Maddison at the moment.
He is. But Odegaard's more on Arsenal can't sign Odegaard because Real Madrid don't have money to sign players, so Odegaard is almost their brand new signing, right? With Leicester and Maddison, we see a player who, with all due respect to Leicester, you got Real Madrid and you got Leicester, right? So if we put a bid forward to Leicester for Maddison, that kind of is near about to what Leicester want, Maddison kind of can look to push it. Odegaard would never push to leave Real Madrid because it's Odegaard and it's Real Madrid, right? And in terms of the AFC Bell, I see you mentioned that there. The Bell has a very good record of going against normal journalists. So when a journalist goes and says, oh, this is not happening, he's always like, no, it is happening, right? But the Bell's got stuff wrong as well in the past. Last year in August, at the start of August, he tweeted out something like, Arsenal have signed Part A, it's a done deal, and he's going to sign his contract, and he's never going to play for Atletico again. That was a lie because he played for Atletico 3-4 more times at the start of last season and then signed for Arsenal deadline day, right? But in terms of Maddison, I'm sure he was offered the number 10 shirt. I'm sure it was a part of it. Okay, you can get the number 10 shirt, but the number is not going to be the most decisive factor to him signing for Arsenal. Sancho didn't sign for United because he was getting the number 7 shirt. He signed because, 25, the figures that matter the most, contracts...
The amount of crying United fans are doing about that.
Exactly. But the figures that matter the most in a transfer is the transfer fee itself to agree the fee with the club and the value in terms of, the wages you pay the player. That is what's going to matter to Maddison. It's not like him not getting the number 10 shirt is like, oh, it's not happening anymore. He's gonna go, listen, agent, I don't want £200,000 a week because I wanted the number 10 shirt and I'm not getting that, so I'm going to stay at Leicester. you could still get the number 8 shirt if you wanted to. It's not about the number; it's about the numbers on the contract, which matters to Maddison. Clearly, it does, right? I mean, if I came to you and said you can go to I don't know, it's hard to obviously do in football in real life situations, but double your wages. It's a real big not like a exactly. It's like with double your wages, you come to London, you come to Arsenal Football Club, and obviously they're gonna sell them like a dream of the project of Arsenal. We're gonna make you this and that. It might not be right, but that's what they're gonna do. So it's hard to say no. Because number 10 was Smith Rowe, and I can see why they give it to Smith Rowe. If Madison's coming to Arsenal, right, and he's taking the number 10 shirt straight away, what's he actually done at Arsenal to deserve that? Emil Smith Rowe has come through from the age of 9. From the age of 9, we signed Smith Rowe, right? We come through, and he's really worked his Arsenal to come through Arsenal, right? He's an Arsenal player, and you could argue he's our best number 10 as it stands in the club right now. There's nothing 100% confirmed about Maddison, so obviously he's going to take the number 10 shirt. Maddison wouldn't have deserved it straight away. I mean, I would have loved to have seen it, but if I'm being honest, he wouldn't have deserved it straight away.
It's not about you're bringing sentimentality into it when it's just business. He could be at the club from when he was 4 years old, but you've seen players.
James Maddison is not Mesut Ozil.
Gone.
He's not Mesut Ozil.
He's a good player, but he's
He's not Mesut Ozil. And even Mesut Ozil didn't get the. Even Mesut Ozil didn't get number. He got number 11.
Yeah,
even Alexis Sanchez got number 17.
At least Smith Rowe turned up at Stamford Bridge.
Smith Rowe, for what you want to say about him, right? Arsenal, I've seen Smith Rowe and gone, you and Saka, we see you as the centerpieces of our project. How do we prove it to you, right? You've come through our academy, both 9 and 10. They worked their asses off, right? So I've got nothing but respect for them for taking those numbers. And the same was said about Saka last year. Why would they give it to Saka? He doesn't deserve it. Give it to Pepe. Saka was like, okay, I'll take the shot, and he's only gone better from there. I love the fact I see two players that are basically me, right? Fans of Arsenal that have come through our academy that take our main numbers. With James Maddison, I'm sure he would have loved the Arsenal number 10 shirt, but isn't there quotes of him saying I preferred the number 8?
No.
There is literally a quote of him saying I'm a number 8.
Okay, well that's fine, but in the same way, the Arsenal Bell, basically you said they got stuff wrong, they got stuff right. And a couple of weeks ago, you were saying no, we trust Arsenal Bell.
I trust the Arsenal Bell. When I say got stuff wrong,
that's fine. But you're double backing on what you said, A and B. That's okay, man. But we know that's the situation, and with giving the numbers 10 shirt, you're saying it's a big shirt and they're big boots to fill. However, the sentimentality, especially with the amount of players that come through your academy, I don't think Arsenal really give a shit in terms of they don't care because they won't keep players. Like for example, Nketiah came through yours and he's one of the most successful under 23 players ever played for England. However, the sentimentality doesn't matter. Move him on, get another player in. So it shows you that in these instances, it doesn't always count where the number and stuff like that. It's just about getting these. It's agenda. Essentially, it's an agenda. If we want you, then you stay cool. If you don't like you, then you go. It doesn't matter if you come through the academy if you've been here since 9 years old. I
completely disagree. Sentimentality comes into place when the players are not good. Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith Rowe have been arguably our best two players for the last year, over Aubameyang and over most of our senior players. Right, so it's not just we're not just giving the number to a player who's barely played for us and he's been average and shit. Smith Rowe was the reason why Arsenal had a semi-respectful season last year, where we weren't like completely bottom half of the table. He came in and changed that. Right, he's done something. He's one of our best players right now, and he's definitely our best attacking midfielder. Right, and that's what a number 10 is. Right, a number 10 is attacking midfielder, and as of right now, as of today, at Arsenal Football Club, he is our best number 10. It's available. Right. And Arsenal, and by the way, let's not forget this either. Smith Rowe had to be very clever with his contract because Villa put a bid forwards. He was never going to go to Villa, right? Even though they offered him mad wages and mad money. We're Arsenal, they're Villa. He wants to stay at Arsenal, but he said to his agent, "Okay, we can get more money. We can get more money on our contracts. We can ask for different things," and that's what he done there. But I've got nothing against Smith Rowe taking the number 10 shirt, and it's not just sentimentality. It's the fact that he's actually a decent player for Arsenal. He's one of our best players, if anything. And you make of that what you will, but it's a fact. As of right now, he is one of our best players.
Okay, that's fine. But in terms of the Maddison thing,
yeah, we'll see what actually happens because I do want to see the ending of this now. If he does sign, it'll be interesting because he ain't gonna have the number 10 shirt anymore, is he?
But I think
that's gonna be one of the big talking points.
Just for that, just before we move on, the number 8 shirt was available for Leicester City when he signed, and he chose to take number 10.
Tielemans your number 8. No, who's your number 8? Is it
Tielemans now?
Okay.
But at the time, Maddison came in before Tielemans, so the number 8 was available, and Maddison choose to take the number 10.
All right, Neil, but let me ask you something, right? If Arsenal were to match your price tag for the player and pay that money up front and said, here you go, there's the money. So they agreed to fee with Leicester. Arsenal agree a contract with Maddison. Here's the 200k a week. Here's the 5-year, 4-year contract, blah, 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 all that done. Is Maddison going to go, well, because I don't have the number 10 shirt, I ain't going to go there? No,
I never said it was it was a deal breaker.
It's not the deal breaker, exactly.
Indicator. It's an indicator.
It might be an indicator. It might be. It depends on how you want to see it. I look at it as...
It's not an indicator because we don't want him. We only wanted him on loan just as a replacement.
I don't know about that, man. I think you have genuine interest in Maitland-Niles. I think it's more like yourself going, I don't want him. But I really do think...
We don't need another midfielder. Bruv, let me get you the pick of all the midfielders we've got.
He's not a midfielder. He's not a midfielder.
Is he a right wing?
He plays in
he's a right wing back. He's a versatility player. He's a perfect player for Leicester City. You're saying that now, bro. You're playing Europa League football next year. You need players for squad depth, and he is a perfect example of player. Right back, centre midfield. He can play everywhere. That's why you wanted him, bro. It was Fabrizio confirmed it.
No, you're telling me what our squad wanted, and we didn't.
He's exactly what Leicester need. Exactly what Leicester need. Exactly what they need.
But man went to West Brom and flop, bro.
Leicester are not a club that they're not like Chelsea where they sign first team players to become their current first team players become squad players. They need to just add squad players right now because they've got good first team players already, right? There's not many players they can just replace because they don't have the money to spend on £90 million to sign a Sancho or something like that, right? So they need to add to the squad. Maitland-Niles is perfect for adding squad depth. He's a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
Listen, up to you guys, man. Am I gonna trust BBC Sport? No, but I'm not saying we're signing him as a right back. I'm saying he can play in midfield. He can play at right back. He can play at left back. He can play at wing back. He can play everywhere.
We don't need anybody for wing back, for midfield, and for right back because we've got 4 right backs. Again, I can pull up some of the pictures that we've got.
You sure? Because you guys did inquire for Tammy Abraham as well. Like,
I think that was a rumor that we put out. Is good. I would have liked him, but we're not paying the fee. So if we look at some of this,
taking him. I mean, you've already got Vardy and Kelechi.
So if we look at some of these players,
you got an Arsenal midfielder in there, mate. Take him out there.
Who?
You got an Arsenal. You got two Arsenal fans. You got 2 Arsenal fans in there, mate. You got Fofana and Maddison. Bring him over. You got 3. You got Samari as well.
Yeah,
another Arsenal fan.
He won't come because your team's shit. Anyway,
let me talk about Samari for a second. Let me talk about Samari for a second.
You're changing the subject. Well, I'm just saying.
This is part of the subject, right? Yeah. So Neil said to me that they would have signed a replacement with Maddison already. They're going, okay, you normally do that, right? You sign a replacement. I have a feeling that if Maddison was to go, it would allow Leicester to move into a 4-3-3 again when you have Tielemans as Samari as box to box, and indeed he has this. Up to you, man, bro. I don't think you like the fact that I'm saying come to Arsenal. I don't know. I get the sense of it can't happen. It's not.
Look, man, I'm happy to talk about it, but I just don't feel your talking points are valid. That's all it is.
Wow, listen, I think they're perfectly valid. If you can double player's salary, you can sign that player. And Arsenal, by the way, Arsenal would not have
and the 65 mil. He's yours, bro.
We will pay the money. We can pay that money. My point is, Arsenal would have not pursued a player in the first place that they don't think is attainable. So we'll see, man. We will see if it happens. But listen, man, you got Maddison there, you got Samara, you got Fofana. Fofana's not even a midfielder.
No,
you've got a centre back in
what's this? Future talents in general.
The future talents, but it's giving you an example of players we've got at centre back, at right back.
Okay.
Ricardo's not in here.
Who's the guy on the right hand side?
This Harvey one, Barnes. Dewsbury Hall or Harvey Barnes?
No, that Dewsbury Hall guy.
Dewsbury Hall could he potentially is a person who's going to fill in for Yuri Tielemans during the pre-season. He's really rated at Leicester. He's one to watch out for, I would say. He's doing really well in pre-season as well. Come through our academy from Syston, so really good. But the rest of them, you see, this is just a mixture of just the talent we've got. But I'm saying to you again, centre backs and right backs were okay. The centre backs we probably need somebody. Midfield is definitely not an area that we need someone because we've got 1, 2, 3.
That is why
we won't need.
Joe Willock at 21 years of age would be perfect for that. Another young talent.
We would just go and bid for him. We wouldn't need Maddison to convince
I hear that, right?
We don't
but if Arsenal say right, we'll pay you £65 million for Maddison. Done. Take it, right? But then in turn, we want to negotiate for Joe Willock as well. So it starts negotiations for him as well. So Arsenal go, then eventually if it happens, right? So then say if you then agree a fee of £25 million for Willock as well, or something like that, right? It kind of just adds up the same, doesn't it? Kind of swap deal.
Do you think we would pay 25 million for Willock when we paid 23 for Saka, 17 for Samore?
I don't think it would be. I think it might be like a loan with the obligation to buy for Willock. If I'm being honest, right? Okay. I don't see Leicester as a club that spend that level of money with all due respect.
Why?
I mean, what's your record signing?
We can, but we don't spend them on Premier League. We don't really spend them on
Is Fofana your record signing? Is he? If I'm right saying
no, Tillemans.
And how much was that then? 20, 25?
35, 30.
Yeah,
around
exactly.
That
Signing.
Yeah, so there you go. They're a club that doesn't like to spend big money on players. And so if they can get a Willock or a loan with the obligation to buy for like a £20 million or something like that, I think it works. Or an option to buy would make more sense to Leicester. But listen, we'll see what happens to Maddison, man. We'll see what happens to Maddison. If he signs, he signs. He doesn't, he doesn't. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I've had a nice discussion about it.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion. I've just been sitting there enjoying it. Not even just from a banter perspective, just seeing it from YouTube, from you guys' points of view. Because
it's all love, Babs. Again, it's just it's our clubs. I get it from both perspectives.
Yeah, come on, Shameless gang. You already know. Aaron's saying 2 small clubs arguing. I love it up here times 2. Love yourself, G, as always.
Listen, we're not Aston Vanilla, mate. Calm down.
Why are you trying to be with Aston Villa, man? Oh my days!
Do you know what? Right, hear this out. Right? I've got a conspiracy theory, right? I've got a conspiracy theory, right, with Aston Villa, right? So yesterday, Smith Rowe signed a new contract, right, and Arsenal fans just get little digs at Aston Villa, and like, yeah, because these men are saying they're gonna sign this player and whatever, right? It's funny, you can find it embarrassing. It is what it is. And I must have tweeted something like, and a reply to Smith Rowe's tweet, like, oh, someone unserious, like Aston Vanilla in the mud, just an unserious comment. And their fans took to it with massive offence. How dare you? You're this, you're that. Personal insults. And I have a feeling an Aston Villa fan would... Sorry?
One, Twitter, A. B, you come from Arsenal fan base, mate. You're not exactly the most prettiest and cleanest.
No, we're not. But I have a feeling since that comment, an Aston Villa fan has gone through my Twitter and tried to find a way to get me suspended. Which he has done.
Was a Villa fan?
No, bro, that's what I was getting. I've getting messages saying, Villa fans got you suspended. Chelsea. And Chelsea, the Chelsea fans, they can't. It doesn't work the same. It's just banter. Villa fans, I don't know what it is about these guys, but everything you say about them, they take it personally. Like, I can banter Chelsea fans, but like, it's what it is. But they'll give me some abuse. I hear that, but it is what it is. Villa fans they come for you, like, and most of these accounts, they're not like the accounts that hide behind footballers. These are real accounts with actual faces on them. So these guys really have a hardcore fan base, which I respect, by the way. But I call them Aston Vanilla, and I get suspended. So I need to be careful when I call him that again.
Villa, they've done some business. They look like they're buying Liam Bailey as well, so they're doing business. But
this is what I don't understand. This is what they were talking to me, right? They were saying we don't want Smith Rowe, we want Leon Bailey, right? I said Leon Bailey is not Smith Rowe. They're different players. There's a number 10, there's a left winger. I think Grealish is leaving. That's what I think. I think 100% he's leaving.
Way. Yeah, I heard Leon Bailey to Villa or something.
And he's interested.
Yeah,
mad. That crazy.
Yeah, Aston Villa are doing one of the best business.
Oh no, you lot are linked with Leon Bailey too, Babs.
Arsenal, we're not linked to Leon Bailey.
Arsenal got enough people who can play out wide though.
Igal put a tweet out saying you're both linked to
Igal puts anything up, man. Igal, I don't know where he gets his sources from. Igal puts anything up. I don't know where he finds them, but I don't know, right? But we're not signing a winger.
Yeah, Ross Baker's saying as well, do any Arsenal players even get in the Leicester City team? Do they?
Yes,
Saka. Could.
Saka gets in the Leicester team.
Saka and Tierney.
Saka and Tierney.
At the moment, yes, Tierney does. But
Ben White, up the Ben White, mate.
Ben White,
Ben White's not even your player yet. But also,
Ben White gets in that. Do you know who gets in a Leicester team that's an Arsenal player? James Maddison.
Better than Tierney if he's fully fit, but he's on that.
James Maddison gets in a Leicester team, and you can't even deny that.
Overhyped. I saw some
player, and that's how he's going to stay, bro. Unless
I'm sure if he's an Arsenal player, you'll be saying the same thing. Bro, if you play for Arsenal, right, you'll be starting some big time agendas. Like, oh, nah, you're going to say Barnes is better than Maddison, all that stuff. Oh, listen.
Hey, Barnes had a really good season until he got injured last season. His numbers, I
Yeah,
think,
he was
might
very
be
good.
better
Yeah,
than
but
Madison.
you'll be saying
well.
something like Leicester fans will start saying that Brighton's better than Madison, and
I don't care what Leicester fans say. I told you, I don't hold you
You
accountable for Arsenal
Pepe could
fans. I
get
hold
into
you
Leicester's
accountable for
team.
you, innit?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what you can
100%.
talk about them ones all you can.
Pepe would get in that
Leicester
team.
fans will
Pepe
say
would.
all
I
this.
think Pepe would,
Twitter's
to be
its
fair.
own little beast. You know?
Pepe would get in that team. Look, wingers
Pepe
would.
get in
They've
ahead
only
of,
got
like,
they've only got
Cameron
one winger.
Wilson, innit?
They've got one winger in it. It's they've got Harvey Barnes. So that they've got one player gets
Yeah, at the
in.
moment we're struggling with wingers.
Exactly. There you
Um,
go.
Yeah.
So Arsenal wingers
Yeah,
will get in that
because
team.
we don't have
Pepe or
any.
Saka.
That shows you that it's like saying, "Oh, if I'm missing a leg, yeah, I've got a leg." Well, yeah, it could be any leg. It gets on because I've got no leg. So it's not really saying something.
I mean, I could argue for Partey if I wanted to, but I won't because I know that obviously fans that have watched him only play in the
Over
Premier League.
who?
And
Over Ndidi and
Listen,
Tillemans.
Ndidi and Tielemans are doing quite top anyway.
it depends
If
on
you
what
if you
formation
can
you want to
argue
play.
that, the floor is yours, my friend.
No, I can argue that, but I also understand that I'm on a Chelsea channel which hates Arsenal, so I don't want to.
No, you're coming after Leicester
We're
now.
neutral. We're neutral
ground,
when
bro.
it comes
Yeah,
to
you're
Shameless
neutral.
FC.
Exactly.
Just
Come
wait
on,
and see.
man.
Just wait and
Come
see.
on.
Just
Yeah,
Bring
we
those
let you get it off
fucking
your chest,
And,
bro.
and
Come
also
on.
no, and also in terms of Thomas Partey and football players in general, there's a lot of recency bias. So fans would have only seen Partey play last season. They go, he's a bum.
Yeah.
So I won't want to argue that, but I know that Partey is a better player than a lot of your midfielders are. That's just me because I've watched him play before
He's a
that
top
as well
player.
for
Like,
Atletico.
I remember he came
I
with
remember
Atletico
the moment
and
I was in love with Thomas Partey was after that Liverpool game at Stanford.
Yeah, exactly. I was
at
there at
Anfield.
that game.
That
He
was
was-
a
he was
proper
immense.
like.
He was
And
immense.
when I saw him do
still,
that,
yeah.
I said, "Yeah, he's the one." And so I can't deny Thomas Partey's quality, but I'm not saying that indeed he's any bad or either is Tielemans is just. I think Partey's one of the better players, but that's just my opinion.
He's not proved it in the Premier League so far, compared to the likes of Tillemans and Ndidi, where they've performed well. Tillemans maybe not as much. He's had one and a half really good seasons. Ndidi has been class game in, game out, and Tillemans is only going to get better because I think he's only like 24 as well, but he plays like he's guy who's like 26, 27.
To be fair to
sorry,
Partey,
like
though, he's not
28.
exactly in the. He's not being given the correct platform to be able to succeed in the Prem as well. Being at Arsenal, like next to Xhaka and these guys, isn't it? Really, like that's
Yeah,
one
exactly
thing I'll
that.
defend Partey
And also,
on.
Partey came in and he got injured straight away, and then and also as an example of signing a player on deadline day, like Lewis was saying with the Haaland, if you sign him, he had no preseason, had no adjustment period for Arsenal, straight into the Premier League, straight into the hard games. Against Man City was his first game. Then he had, I think he was against Tottenham. That's hard games from the get go. It's going to be hard to hit the ground running, and that's why you want to sign players sooner. So if we are to sign a player like Maddison, I hope we get it done latest in the first or second week of August. Like that's the latest. Because if you sign him, if you were to sign him on deadline day or something, it wouldn't make no sense. Because you get him in, and then guess what?
250 million. You were saying you had 250 million. Just pay the money right now. It doesn't even cover half of it.
Look, if it was my money, I'd pay it right now. But I don't know how this club operates, so we'll see where it goes.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I
what's
hear
saying
that.
as well? Anyway,
Slav obviously couldn't make it in today, but he sent a message for us saying, make sure you discuss how Paratici has turned us into the kings of the transfer window. Son deal,
No.
Romero deal, Galini, Koundé nearly done the lot.
What's
Is
the
this
loose
making
Kane
the
in the next
Kings-
couple of weeks? Now he
Aston
said
Villa
that.
have
I
had a
don't
better
have
season.
I don't have a clue that Romero Donny is. I just don't. I don't watch Atlanta. Play
Atlanta
like that.
defender, meant to be pretty
I don't
good.
know who he is.
We
I think
scored
I watched
5
a bit of
against
him during the
Atalanta
Copa.
this season. So.
I know about Brian Hill.
Well,
I think he's a
that
very
bit.
good player. I think Brian Gill's a very good player, but
Yeah,
I don't know if
he's
it-
good, but I
I think
can't wait
physically,
for the
though,
Big
he
Bang
might
when he
struggle in
flops.
his first year because Brian Gill's a player who's really like he's very young still, so he's kind of underdeveloped physically slightly. So I think if he comes to the Premier League and it's going to be hard for his first year, it might be hard, But then again, to replace him for Lamela, an upgrade there and there. But Romero, they're spending 55 million euros on him. I don't know who he is, so fair play, I guess. They're spending money for once on a centre back. So, but I do have we know that Harry Kane's leaving, most likely, isn't he?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because we're having
not
varying
sure.
reports on it. I think Kane wants to leave. We're not hearing too much about whether Spurs are actually going to let him go, but it's varying reports.
Apparently,
on
Romano tweeted saying that Spurs are intent on keeping him still.
Yeah, I don't think Spurs are going to let him go.
No,
At
I don't
least
think they let him go.
I don't know,
But
man. Like,
Are we going to say
recently,
Spurs are the kings of the transfer window?
No.
Because
No.
for me, it's like, obviously, we haven't even made a fucking transfer bid yet, let alone
I'd
actually
say
win.
we've had a decent season.
But what?
Be
Window.
decent signing. Because
You
again,
got-
how many have been confirmed? Until these transfers get confirmed, you can only really judge them on that, can't you?
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't think any of them have been officially confirmed by Spurs, have they?
None of them's
No, but
been
it's done
confirmed.
deal. When Fabrizio
I
says
think
done deal, it's a done deal.
Gil's been confirmed, but that's it.
Yeah.
Gil's done, and then they sent a goalkeeper. Don't know who he is either. But I think they're both Atalanta players. So I don't know, man.
Which is all
Obviously,
well and done.
Pratici has.
Until the club announce it, then we can say it's official. Do you know what I
Nah.
mean? I
It's
know what
done,
you
man.
mean.
It's like Sancho. Sancho was done weeks ago. We like Ben White, for example, is a done deal. It's done.
But the
We've
club
done our
announced-
part.
Yeah, but Ben White isn't officially announced, so we should only.
No, he is a
judge
player. He's an Arsenal
players on
player.
that, because once you start going anything but that, you have. Even though like Lukonga was done weeks ago and it finally got announced, we can only really judge them on what's actually been confirmed by the club, because that's how you should
Yeah.
judge a transfer. Do you see what I mean? Give us
But-
the end of the window,
yeah.
we can talk something else.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's when Fabrizio says done deal, confirmed. Here we go. It's a done deal. He signed it. It's not that. I think Ben White had signed his contract, and also these players are on holiday right now because they were at the Euros. So that's another factor there. But we've signed 3 players. Lukonga and Tavares confirmed. Ben White's done as well. He just needs to come back and do his medical, and that's done, finished. So we've still got to sign 4 more players or 3 more players. So I really do hope we sign a number 10, and I hope it's Madison.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Oh, these fucking spammers, bro! Every single time. How
Yeah,
many
man, I'm trying.
spammers are the same guy? Alright, bro, you
You
ain't
need the
gotta
mods,
worry
bro.
about that.
Get the mods in, mate.
Yeah, mods, where you man at, guys? This is when you meant to be bailing me out. Alright, Ryan,
Oh,
what's
to
this
Arsenal.
about fucking Jordan Henderson about to leave Liverpool?
So basically, this was a shock, to be fair, in terms of, hearing that, a lot of people think it's because he was one of the ones to speak out and was kind of influential as one of the players to get the Super League scrapped as well. And obviously that's kind of going against what the owners wanted to do. That they'll think, oh, let's just get rid of Henderson. People think there's an agenda there. I'm not sure about that, but, it does it is quite convenient that that's happened. But, like, to be fair, with Henderson, it's like, he's struggling on contract negotiations. It's not looking like they're getting anywhere. And it's like, because he's 31, injury prone, do we just let him go now? For me, I've never really, whilst I respect Henderson and, respect the leadership qualities that he's offered, I've never been his biggest fan in it. Like, let's be honest, I've never been his biggest. I've never been one of
Even
these.
over the last few seasons?
No, I've never been one of these Henderson lovers, bro.
Mad.
Genuinely. I
Bro,
actually haven't.
who do you rate? Because you
Well, in the
hate
Liverpool
Salah,
team.
you hated
Yeah.
Wijnaldum.
I don't know. I don't hate Henderson. I respect him, but
Ramsdale.
I'm not like. I wouldn't
Bro,
lose
you
any
rate
sleep
Graham
if
Potter and
Henderson
you
left.
don't even know you.
But bro,
Not
I
even
wouldn't lose
related.
sleep if Henderson left. Like, I wouldn't lose any sleep if that happened. Like, I'm not his biggest fan. He's 31. He's injury prone, and he's not some amazing footballer or anything. Like, I think we could definitely replace him because it's like, and even then we've got enough leaders in there, and we've got Van Dijk who'll probably become captain because Milner's there, but he won't probably be Milner's last season, to be fair, and he won't start games anyway. So Van Dijk will probably become captain. This is if Henderson leaves, by the way. I don't think he'll leave anyway, but like, I wouldn't lose sleep if Henderson left because I'm not his biggest fan. He's injury prone, like I said, and it's like, I still think we're in need of like another midfielder as well, like a Sal Niguez or something. And if we, let's say, brought a Sal Niguez in, our strongest midfield 3 for me is Fabinho, Thiago, and Saul. So where does Henderson come into that? He's just going to be on the bench at the end of the day. Like, he's not getting.
Thiago start though because he's dipped this year.
Thiago came good towards the end of the season though, and I think, for me anyway, I think he's for me, Thiago's too good to be left out of the midfield for me. Like, he came really good in the last few games, and it took him time to adapt. It's similar to what Babs was saying about Thomas Partey in terms of Thiago didn't come in the right situation where he got injured for the first half of the season from that Richarlison red card tackle, and when he came back, it was when that point where we were putting like Fabinho and Henderson, our midfielders, as centre backs. So Thiago was coming into such a makeshift team at that time, having just come back from quite a long-term injury. But then towards the end of the season, he was becoming good, especially when he had Fabinho next to him in the midfield. So I think Fabinho and Thiago will do really, really well together next season. And then obviously if we bring in a Renato Sanchez or a Sal, then obviously they probably go in. So then Henderson's on bench anyway, and then, he's not even been fully fit, Henderson. So I wouldn't lose any sleep if we sold him. I'm not on this sentiment thing that a lot of these Liverpool fans are on, where it's like, oh, how could you sell Henderson? Like, nah, man. To me, sentiment, is what sentiment doesn't allow you to progress as a club in it. The reason why Sir Alex Ferguson, for example, was so successful at Man United, one of the reasons was because he didn't stand for sentiment. When the likes of Roy Keane, Beckham came to the end, he knew when to sell them. He didn't give two shits. He was like, nah, you're done, you're gone, just get out in it to Roy Keane and Beckham. Even though a lot of United fans didn't want to see that. And, he went on that's why Sir Alex Ferguson was able to consistently win leagues. And that's what, we might have to do with Henderson. He, like I said, old, injury prone, not an amazing player. So, like, just get rid now. Don't let sentiment get in the way of this at the end of the day, for me.
But
And I've
where
heard
would
he's
he
been
go?
with Arsenal as well.
Where
He's
do you
coming
think
to
he would
Arsenal,
go if
that's
he
what I
was to
heard.
leave Liverpool?
Well,
He's coming to
obviously,
Man
I've
United,
heard the
Arsenal, mate.
Arsenal rumours.
You lot could actually
Come
do
on,
with
Arsenal!
Henderson.
I heard
Nah, he's gone. He's gone to Sunderland. He's gone to Sunderland.
Yeah,
He's
but
gone to
I heard
Sunderland.
Atletico Madrid, and I've heard people think if Atletico Madrid are in for him, maybe that could act as kind of a makeshift in the
He's not.
try and get
Henderson's not
Armageddon.
going European, man. He's not. He doesn't strike me as a player that's going
Yeah,
to go
that's the
abroad.
thing,
I
it
just
doesn't-
don't know, man.
it doesn't-
I can't see
picture
Jordan
it,
Henderson
that's
in
what I
like
thought still. I can picture Jordan Henderson
with his
like,
Geordie French
scored
accent. Like I
abroad.
can't. Yeah, I can't see happening. I can't see that. I think he'll either. I think he stays at Liverpool. I just think he'll end up being.
Yeah, I think he'll stay, but all I'm saying is, I wouldn't lose any sleep if he
It's
left.
not the end of
like,
the world if he does leave.
you know,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not to a lot of Liverpool fans. It's the end of the world in it because they're on this sentiment thing in it. But like, I'm not in it. Like,
Yeah.
he's nothing special
Yeah,
in it
but
at the end
exactly,
of the day. Like,
you
he
said it
shouts from the
perfectly.
pitch. He's probably good
Liverpool
in the
are in a
dressing
very
room.
particular situation right now. Where if you don't win next year, you need to start again. Like you just need to start again.
Oh yeah,
The
no, I
Salah
think we
and
need because a lot
Go
of
on.
our team's aging as well. A lot of our key players are aging. It's like there is a rebuilding job that needs to be done, and we probably should have started after we won the Champions League. Not even after we won the league, after we won the Champions League, because it's like after we won the Champions League, the likes of Origi, for example, plays a big part in obviously scoring in the semi-finals and finals. We probably should have sold him then when his stock was at his highest at the end of the day. We probably should have looked to sell him then. And the reason why after we won the Champions League, we didn't buy anyone that summer apart from Adrian in it. And that don't even count at the end of the day. So it's like, that's kind of coming back to like haunt us now. Even though we won the league that season, that's coming back to haunt us because our squad depth is crap. We've got players like Origi there who are just not, useful to the club anymore. They're not contributing anything. And we can't sell him now because no one wants him. Whereas at that time, we probably could have sold him for a decent amount of money at the end of the day. So it's like, that's kind of coming back to bite us in the arse now. We've got no squad depth and we can't get rid of a lot of dead wood because no one wants them. Shaqiri's still not gone, for example. And then we're being linked with the likes of Jared Bowen. Like, Jared Bowen, bro. Like come on, man. We're looking to try and
talk to
get
me
that-
about Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Bro, I've heard we're planning to use him in a false nine thing, bro. I'm not on that, innit?
What?
Like, I've heard that we're planning to use him as a backup. false nine.
Oxlade-Chamberlain is one of the worst finishers I've ever seen. Like he can finish here and there, yeah, but overall, nah, he just can't.
Bro, man. It's not even
I
about the
still
finishing,
remember
bro. It's
Oxlade-Chamberlain
not
as that player
innit?
who. I remember Oxlade-Chamberlain broke through at Arsenal in 2012, and it was a game against AC Milan in the Champions League. It was last 16. That was like my memory of Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was like a young, pacey winger, and he was playing as a 10.
Yeah.
Since then, this guy is just, I don't know, has he lived up to, he hasn't, has he? Because he's just been hit and miss. Obviously, injuries didn't help him. But, the fact that you
Yeah.
paid £35 million for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and it just gets brushed down because you've obviously got Van Dijk and Alisson as well. Like, it shows that even Liverpool had made quite a few, they made a mistake here and there as well. Like, no teams had
No, we
perfect
have made some
transfers.
mistakes even. No, we have, exactly. And, Ox is a backup false nine. Like, nah, man. He's not even got, like, the good link-up play that Firmino has it and everything. Like,
Yo,
he's
you're a
a ball
jack shit.
finisher.
He's not playing horse
I
nine.
think Firmino gets
He's
it.
not-
He's
he's not
control
playing
links
false
up
nine.
to play with his talented player.
He's not playing false
Ox
nine.
is
You're
a false
chatting.
nine. I can't be asked.
He's not playing false nine. I don't know where you got this source from, but your source is wrong. You're not playing false nine.
No,
Sounds
apparently,
like you,
I've
bro.
heard he. I didn't watch pre-season. I haven't watched Liverpool in pre-season today, but apparently I heard he played in false nine in that. I'm not even
Oh,
joking.
but take the
I might be wrong,
piss.
but I heard someone say he played false nine. But I was like,
What is it with your club and transfers? Like, you hate transfers. Your club just doesn't like transfers.
Bro, I don't know. The thing is, we've actually been linked with a few.
It must
this
be the
week.
worst
It's like-
feeling though, because Liverpool are like they've already won a title, but they're so close to still being there, and you're just letting it go, like you're just letting it.
It's the fact
I don't
that it's
get
the
it.
players we're being linked with. It's like Jared Bowen, bro. We might as well just keep Shaqiri if we're getting Jared Bowen.
Might as well
bro.
sign Ruben Neves.
Bowen's not bad though. Bowen as a player isn't bad. I don't think he's
player.
Liverpool
Man,
quality, but he'll do a job.
No, he might be. Like with Mane it was the same. Mane was a player that Man United would link to every year. Was he
Better
Liverpool quality?
Yeah, but
Is-
Mane was clear of Jared Bowen at that time still.
No,
bro.
listen,
And
I know
like,
you're
yeah,
saying
like-
that, but when Mane signed for Liverpool, a lot of fans were saying, is he Liverpool quality? Is he Man United quality?
Yeah,
like,
I
is he just
remember that.
Southampton? And look at him now. Salah was the same. Is he quality Premier League after his flop at Chelsea? Look at him now. So Bowen could be a player like that. Liverpool makes smart signings.
But to me,
yeah,
it's like,
man.
when you've got Origi and Shaqiri as squad players, what's the point of just replacing them with likes of Jared
I
Bowen?
still
Like,
can't
that's the
understand
team
why-
we had to West Ham.
I can't understand why you signed Thiago. It goes against everything your club does. You signed the 28-year-old towards the end of his peak of his powers. He's injury or was he 30? Wow, at peak of end of his peak career or peak years. He's on massive wages. He costs £20 million. It goes against everything Liverpool do. But it was a signing just to get your fans
I
a bit
think that was the
excited.
thing, is the fact that he's almost out of contract. He's like had a year left on his contract.
Yeah,
and
but
it was
still,
like
you spent
20
£20 million
How
on
can you
him.
spend out 20
That's
mil
a
for
lot of money for a
Thiago?
player. No, he is, but he's a good player. He's a very good player, obviously. But he goes against what you guys did for so long. Salah was 24 when you signed him. Mane was 24 or 25. Like, you went for this like profile of player, and then it's changed to now Thiago's coming, and it's kind of just changed that for a year. He's been a good signing so far. I like Thiago as a player, so I'm not gonna slander him or anything, but he hasn't quite worked out. Like he's a
But
Champions
then we
League winner
did
with
sign
Bayern Munich.
Jota, who kind of goes with how we've been signing players.
There you go. Jota's a good example. You signed a player who's young, who's hungry, who's going to enter his peak years. That's what Liverpool do. That's what I'm hoping
Yeah,
Arsenal
I
do
get,
as well.
I get what you mean, but like, for example, Jared Bowen, it's like we want to get back to the stage where we're challenging for a title again this season, going far in Champions League. Bro, I'm signing like City are being linked. Obviously, we can't buy the place City buy because we haven't got the money in it. But they're being linked with like Jack Grealish, Harry Kane,
Yeah.
Chelsea being linked with Haaland, and we've been linked with Jared Bowen. Like, and then people
you gotta
expect us to
understand
compete with these guys this season.
That exactly. Chelsea, Man City, and even Man United, because Man United are part of that. Don't give me this bollocks. They don't spend money.
Oh, yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen the amount of money they spend?
Yeah,
And
they
net
paid
spend
that
as well.
bill.
Right? There
then
was
they
a
still have
tweet going on, right? It was like the villain by the media and the actual villain, and it's Man United compared to Man City, because these men spend money. I know Man City do. I'm not saying they don't, and so do Chelsea. But Man United spend money, and they've gone 0-5, 0-5. No
But it's like-
trophies in the last 5. Right.
But it's
So
like-
Man United, Man City, and Chelsea
Yeah.
operate differently to Arsenal and Liverpool, and especially
with-
Liverpool, because Liverpool have got this self-sustained model: get the players in, rejuvenate, go again, and this is what fans don't like.
But the
Fans
thing
want to
is,
see.
Baz, it's like, obviously, like you said, the recruitment over the last few years for Liverpool has worked well with buying, the player, for example, Robertson, an £8 million relegated left back from Hull, and all these kind of players. But then there's,
Oh,
It's cut off.
I don't know if you can.
Bro, you're
yeah.
muted. He's on mute right now.
But even before that, there was something.
No, he's on mute. He's on mute. You can see it on
Yeah,
mute.
he
But
muted
isn't
himself.
isn't the reason why they spend like
Oh,
this
his
is
mic
because the
isn't
previous owners just messed them up as well?
I think his mic's off. Yeah, potentially. But I don't think the owners are proactive owners. We can't hear you, bro.
Can't hear you, Budgie.
Unplug it and plug it back in, or come back into the
is
studio.
that better?
Babs,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
we can hear you. We can hear you, but I don't think it's your mic. No, it's gone off again.
Oh, now it's gone again.
Get
Is
headphones
that
or
better
something.
I
now?
don't know what the issue
There you
is.
go.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. There you go.
All right, yeah. Now, it's like, what was I saying again about Jared Bowen? It's like, Klopp can't keep buying these, like, players like Jared Bowen and turning him into, like, kind of world beaters, in it, like, and expect us to keep challenging. It's like, we're actually ruining Klopp when you think about it. Like, he deserves to be back so much, and yet we're giving him players like Jared Bowen, potentially. Like, come on, innit? Like, we're actually ruining this man. Like, it's actually mad. Like, Jared Bowen. But I heard
The
we're being
thing
linked
is,
as well
He
with...
fits that kind of player that you bought, that you will buy. Like Wijnaldum fit that for you. Who else? There's a couple of players. Origi fit that when you bought him. Robertson fit that profile when you bought him. So it does fit that profile of player that you would buy.
But man ain't even shining for West Ham, man. Like, come on.
He is. He was doing some.
He's shining for them though. Like,
yeah.
He just.
If you watch them, he's one of their star players. I'd say he's top 5 players at West Ham last season.
You reckon top 5? I mean, with West Ham, you got like Lingard, Suchek.
Yeah, he's up there, to be fair. He had a very good first half of the season. I'm not too sure about the second.
He went
I
on
don't
a
know.
run.
Like, I heard a rumor like maybe being linked with Pedro Neto. Like, that's a player that I would take. Like, obviously, I take.
But I don't think
Pedro
his
Neto
numbers
either.
were as good as Bowen's last season. Off the top of my
yeah,
head,
but I
I
just
might
think
be
Pedro
wrong.
Neto was a better player, and I think there's a lot more talent there that Klopp could mold and coach into a much better player than his ceiling's a lot higher for me than Jared Bowen at the end of the day. Like, I think Klopp could get so much more out of someone like Pedro Neto, which is a player that we probably should be going for, in my opinion. But
Fair
I mean,
enough.
the transfer window ain't over yet. I mean, you know, for me,
Got a month
For
and
me,
a bit.
I just want a lot of the Deadwood out, to be fair. Like, you know, like I said, I want
Salah.
Origi, Shaqiri out. Nah, at the moment, we probably have to keep Salah
Alisson.
being the likes of Jared Bowen. Yeah, Salah, stay in it if that's happening. But, like...
If you don't need a winger, though, I'm sure we could loan... No, we won't loan you Ziyech for a year, actually. I'd rather
I like
keep him.
Ziyech, though. I do like Ziyech.
He might go
Over
on
Salah?
to AC Milan, but other
Would you
than that,
take
I'm not sure.
Ziyech over Salah?
Take him over Jared Bowen, bro.
That wasn't my question.
And what would it take Ziyech over Salah? At the moment, probably not, just because Ziyech is, you know, still he kind of struggled at Chelsea at times last season. I think Salah probably suits the system more than him, I guess, at the end of the day. Even though I'm not Salah's biggest fan, I think he suits Klopp's system more than Ziyech, to be fair. So I probably wouldn't do that.
Fair enough. Right. Anyone got any other final thoughts? We wrap up the stream.
Madison's staying probably, but see you in a bit, Babs.
Can't wait for Arsenal to get
Big up Baron saying Kevin De Bruyne. I'm not too sure about the context.
Yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne.
context isn't that.
It's just Kevin De Bruyne. Cool. Kevin De Bruyne. Big up
Kevin the
yourself,
cross
mate.
merchant.
Kevin De Benayoun and all that.
Kevin
Big up
the
yourself.
byline and all that. Yeah.
Anyway, it's been yet
Tammy
another
Drogba.
great episode of Shameless FC. What was that, Babs?
I said Tammy Drogba.
Tammy Drogba. You wish you'll turn into Didier Drogba. Although I can't lie, if he joins you,
It's your
lot, he
words.
balls out,
These are
he's
your
gonna
words,
win.
bro. These are your words. You said yourself, if he comes to Arsenal, he could be the next Drogba.
Against us.
Wow.
That's
Against
Lewis's
us,
words.
it
Don't give it me. I didn't say it. Listen,
Really?
mate.
Oh,
You say that, Lewis?
Really and truly, I'm saying like the Drogba effect against us. Because he'll have every opportunity to want to fuck us
So
over.
what, are you calling Drogba a one-game merchant? Is that what you're
Oh, are
saying?
you talking about how
I'm
Drogba...
saying Didier Drogba loved the game against Arsenal, just like Tammy will try and love the game against Chelsea.
So, alright, cool.
Ain't
cool.
Tammy
I'm
an
just saying,
Arsenal
innit? I'm just saying. He is an Arsenal fan. Of course he supports us, you know what I mean? Even Neil's an Arsenal fan. Listen, they're all Arsenal fans.
Yeah,
Everyone
man,
supports
he's all
Arsenal,
like-
mate.
That's what his background is. It's actually an Arsenal.
Neil,
See,
I
I'm
am
not
sure.
You look really
Neil,
close.
Emirates a
I
few
am
years
sure there's
ago.
a relative of yours that supports Arsenal. Can I confirm that?
Yeah,
Am I right in
because
saying
the
that?
relative of everybody that supports Arsenal. That's like saying, oh yeah,
There
if
you
your
go.
relative wears
Exactly. There's
glasses,
always a cousin that
it's like
supports
saying, oh,
Arsenal.
wow,
So technically,
you're
you're a
Actually-
cousin of Arsenal. That's what you become. You're a cousin of Arsenal.
I don't have any. I genuinely don't have any
Bro.
relatives that support Arsenal.
Nah,
Genuinely.
look, listen, you said yes. Don't go back now, bro. We got yes. We got the VAR to prove it now. So we can
No,
go back.
no. I know
Right.
Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. I
I think
genuinely
he's talking
don't
about
know an
Bundesliga
Arsenal.
players.
You're the
Yeah,
closest
I
relative
just
I've
got
got
that
to
from Hargreaves.
Arsenal, my
Fair
G.
enough, bro. I
You're
didn't
the
think of
closest
that.
one.
You're lying. You got relative, bro. You're an Arsenal cousin, innit? Don't worry.
You're my relative, you know. From India, you know. There's loads of Asian mandem over there. From
If you were
Arsenal,
from
so
London,
I
what
think
team would you
guys-
support?
we're family in it.
If you were from London, let's just say obviously you're born in Leicester, so it's different. But if you were born in London, if you could pick one London team to support,
country, whatever. If I was from
No, but who would
Zimbabwe,
you
I'd
support?
support somebody else.
all right, cool. Change your question. Who's your favorite
No, wait,
London
did
club?
you pick Leicester because it was your
No.
local team?
Of course it is.
Leicester,
Leicester,
yeah.
innit? Leicester. Exactly.
Right,
So I'm
if
saying,
you were- if
who's
you
your
were
favorite
born in
London club?
What team would you pick?
Don't have one.
Like, for example, my favorite club in the north side is probably Newcastle.
So what? We're
I
just
like
going to
Newcastle.
forget the Battle of the Bridge then?
He wants to say Arsenal. I know he wants to say it. Just say it.
Come on,
I know
man.
you want to say it.
You were there for
Me?
your biggest moments.
Yeah. I know you want to say Arsenal's your favorite London club.
No. I don't want to say it. Leicester's my club. It's like saying, okay, if you couldn't marry your wife, who would you marry? I got a wife in it. That's my missus.
Selena Gomez.
It's like saying, oh yeah, but if you're gonna cheat on her, man, I got my club. I stick with my club. That's
Yeah, but you're
one of
getting the
things.
chance of
That's like,
Kylie Jenner here. You're not getting no. You're getting Come on, you're getting Kim Kardashian here.
Kylie
You know what I
Jenner,
mean? You got,
mate, you're not. You're 57
gotta
year old
choose.
Kylie Jenner. Past the
bro,
prime, bro.
I got a gun now. I got to shoot, bro. You got to choose.
We're
Pick a
Kylie
club.
Jenner.
But you're Kendall, bro.
You're
Get
not,
out of here.
You're not Kylie Jenner. You're
You must be out of your damn mind. We are carrying the greatest gold in Europe. We are definitely Kylie Jenner.
Say that. Say that.
I genuinely don't know much about that, but it is what it is. But yeah, my club is Leicester. So if anybody says, "Oh, well, if you had to," well, I don't. So that's the reality I live in. I wouldn't support.
The best
If I was
answer
going to
to
support,
say
I'd
is say
support
Leicester
whatever local
winning
club would be
team.
close.
Yeah.
That's my identity. I'm not even that call on England because my club has always been the underdog club. So I'll always support the underdog, and that will never be North London. That will never be London. If that was going to be the case, my favourite club at the moment probably is Brentford because they're doing similar to what Leicester are doing at the moment.
Brentford's close to Arsenal, so they comes the same. So you're supporting Arsenal, basically.
That's not
Brentford's
how
very
that
close to
works.
Arsenal. That's
It's
how it
not
works.
really.
Brentford's like
close to them.
it's like a half an hour drive from Arsenal. So you're basically saying you're an Arsenal fan. We get it, Neil. Listen,
It's
you know,
these guys.
West,
I know you.
What zone is it?
London
What zone is
rivals.
it? What zone is it? It's that one.
What?
It's that one.
No, it isn't.
Come on, man.
Isn't
You
that-
live in
I've got
London.
a
You don't even
chain
know
to show-
London geography. Like that's
Yeah, but-
bad in itself.
No, I know. I'm just trying to
Next thing
change
you'll be like,
geography. I'm trying to-
QPR. Yeah, that's next to Arsenal as well.
It is. Isn't it? It is. Same
Yeah,
city.
it's just like
Can't-
it's
so who
north,
can't say?
east, west, same thing. You know, north, west, same thing.
Exactly.
I'm not
What's
even
the
Forest fan.
stadium called?
It's called Griffin Park. Oh no, they've got a new one now, so it's not Griffin Park.
Who QPR?
Oh,
No,
well,
Brentford.
that's still just a 17-minute drive from Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, but that don't count. Your stadium's in the mix of a high street. Doesn't it's not the same. It doesn't count.
Let's try Emirates Stadium to Griffith Park.
Lads, anyway, sorry, I've got to jump on another stream, but appreciate you
41
guys.
minutes.
Big as usual.
Yeah, but if you get a
yeah.
helicopter, if you get a private helicopter
deal, man.
or private jet from Brentford to Arsenal, it'll probably be 10 minutes.
I don't care.
And if you get it from
You guys in a
Stamford
bit.
Bridge to Griffith Park, it's
I'm just
probably
saying.
5 minutes.
If I was to get a,
See you guys in a
you
bit.
know, I take it. Bro.
Big up Neil, man.
If I was to get
Yeah,
a private, a little private jet from Brentford to Arsenal, it'll probably be 5 minutes. I'm just saying.
I like your spin on things at least. But yeah, we are going to end the stream here anyway. Big up everyone that's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button, and safe for sticking around as well. It's been yet another great episode of Shameless FC. We will leave you with the 2021-22 Golden Boot Premier League winner. Take care, like and subscribe, and as always, up the Chels.